effect. The next question mark is going to be after the trade deadline, leading into the playoffs. Does he have it then? And maybe the Leafs get into a position where playoffs are clinched and you can kind of do some load management going into the playoffs, because he's far too important of a player on this team to not be a factor on the score sheet on a nightly basis.
Totally agree with that. And, you need everybody, obviously, at peak. And you can apply that to Gio, too, right? He had a week off, so.
Well, Gio's he's a great example. And bringing in another defenseman, someone of significance, is only going to help Gio because, well, it's going to help everyone, but it's going to help Gio a lot because now he can take some nights off. And when you put him back in the lineup, you're going to have a little more pop to his game. And, like, when he has that, right, it's hard for him to have that every single night just because of the miles that he's put on. But when he has that, it's very noticeable, right? Like, he's a really smart player. He's obviously been around this long because of that. And there's an added element to his game when he has that. But if he's a guy you can kind of manage his minutes and maybe take him in and out of the lineup as you see fit, like, that'll benefit him a lot.
Yeah, just looking at the Leafs lineup. So, they've done a lot of work on that left side, and they sort of end up in the same spot. Nice Bertuzzi, Robertson, and McMahon tonight down that left side. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I think with McMahon, we kind of, like, he's a fourth-line player. He's been as advertised this year. I don't have any issues there. Nick Robertson is a guy that you want to still see more from, but you have to give him some credit at this point because he's been taken in and out of the lineup so much this year, and anytime he's come back in after a prolonged period of being out of the lineup, he scores a goal, or he contributes, or he has a good game. So maybe Sheldon Keefe knows that and understands that, and that's why, that's the guy he kind of plugs in and unplugs out of the lineup at times. But I like the way Nick Robertson has responded to the adversity that he's faced this season. Tyler Bertuzzi, they need more from him. Yep. They need more from Bertuzzi at this point in the season. And now not to say that it's an excuse, but now the whole, he's getting acclimated to the team, the system, all that kind of stuff. Like, we're far beyond that point. So for Bertuzzi, it really is time for him to start contributing a little more offensively. I like what he brings other than, the intangibles that he does bring, right? Like, he'll finish ahead. He'll get involved into the scrappiness of the play. I have no problem with all of that. Yeah. But when you pay someone $5 million, you need $5 million worth of output, and they need that from Bertuzzi in the second half. And when it comes playoff time, that's when you're really going to test what he brings to the lineup, because that's when you need someone like that to score a big goal or stir something up for you, and that's when you can really find that value and that worth in a player like Bertuzzi.
I mean, you almost need 25 goals out of him, don't you?
Well, I thought for sure it was going to be like an automatic 25 this year. He was the only guy coming into the season that had scored 30 prior to playing on a line with Matthews and Marner. Now, he's not playing with Matthews and Marner at the moment. He's playing with Tavares and Nylander. But that's why, like, a lot of people like myself were so optimistic about what that could be. A guy with some pedigree who's done it. The chance he finds that again. But Matthew Nyes gets an opportunity to play with Matthews and Marner. And he talked about it leading into the break that he's never played this many games in a season. A little burnt out. We'll see how he reacts in the second half out of the All-Star break.
We'll set up the opening face-off for you next. This is Leafs Game Night, live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
Final call for the Air France Rendezvous. Until February the 6th, enjoy fares at the very best prices during the Air France Rendezvous and benefit from our 90 years of experience of in-flight fine dining, design and comfort. Our very best 90th anniversary fares have just landed. Book your flight to Malaga starting at $870 return from Toronto, tax included. Elegance is a journey. Air France. Travel from January 24th to June 22nd or from September 18th to October 31st, 2024. See conditions at airfrance.ca.
Don't brave the winter weather. Stay in and enjoy the Voila magic with our Delivery Pass trial. No commitment and a month of unlimited free deliveries. Just like that. Voila, we deliver Sobeys, Longos, Farm Boy, and more. See terms and conditions at voila.ca.
Excuse me, miss. If I say Contrave, C-O-N-T-R-A-V-E, Contrave, do you know what it is?
Of course I do. And I know how to get my tablets at no cost.
Oh, you know that.
Ask your doctor about Contrave and learn how to receive Contrave tablets at no cost.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Ron is a teacher helping bright minds, but this time he needed help. Alpine Credit sent a cosmic superhero with a debt consolidation loan. She conjured a magic book, Debt Consolidation 101. Lesson 1, consolidate debt into one low monthly payment. Lesson 2, nothing. It's a short book. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Let's get jerseys. Let's get jerseys.
Right now, become a Tangerine client with a savings account and you could get a free Raptors jersey.
We want jerseys.
Finally, a savings account worth cheering for.
Jerseys. Jerseys.
Find out how to score a jersey at tangerine.ca/Raptors. Tangerine. That's forward banking. Available to new clients who open and fund an eligible account while supplies last. Conditions apply.
Oh, what do we have here? The start of the stretch run. The Islanders paying a visit with their new head coach, Patrick Waugh. Islanders on the outside of the playoff picture, but that could change. So will the Leafs continue the fine play that brought them into the All-Star break? Guy, are the 2 points or the 2 wins over the Jets a measuring stick? Don't know for sure, so let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Welcome inside Scotiabank Arena. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey. Jim Taddy and Frankie Corrado with you. Joe Bowen and Jimmy Ralph standing by. The starting lineup is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. And going for the Leafs tonight, Austin Matthews centering Marner and Nyes. Tavares centering Nylander and Bertuzzi. Domi centering Noah Gregor and Robertson. Holmberg centering Reeves and McMahon. On the blue line, the pairings are Riley, Brody, Benoit, McCabe, Gio, and Liljegren, and Samsonov starts in goal. Frankie C., what do you make of all that?
There's a lot to talk about up front, Jimmy. Why don't we start with Matthew Nyes? We were just talking about it before the break. He was saying leading into the All-Star break, this is the most games he's ever played in a season. He was feeling the fatigue of that. So now he gets a little time off. He's still playing on the first line with 2 of the best players on the team, 2 of the best players in the league. So I expect him to have a little more energy here in the second half. Tyler Bertuzzi is another player that needs to have a big second half. Like, he can do a lot as far as the intangibles go, but they still need more production out of him. Nick Robertson is a player who's been in and out of the lineup, who has shown well when he's been back in the lineup. He's another player, like, is he going to be someone who gets traded? Is he going to be someone who stays with this team? Like, now's going to be a little more of that deciding time for Nick Robertson based on how he plays. And no David Kampf in the lineup. He's still out for a little bit. So Pontus Holmberg gets to play fourth line center. He was playing on the first line. He's been pretty versatile this year, so he gets an opportunity with Bobby McMahon and Ryan Reeves lower in the lineup. So listen, it's the first game out of the All-Star break. It could be a little groggy, a little sleepy, but there's no reason for it to be that way because this team is in the thick of a playoff fight. The New York Islanders are going to be a desperate, hungry team. They have a really good goaltender. They have 2 big-time players back for them on the back end, and Pelech and Ryan Pulak, who are really going to help bolster that D-core. And they're a team that's been looking to find their game defensively, so they brought in Patrick Waugh, a very good defensive coach. So the Leafs should have quite a test tonight against the New York Islanders, but they should be rested and refreshed and ready to go for the second half.
I look at the challenge, and when I look at this roster, obviously the entire left side has to step up. Nyes, Bertuzzi, Robertson, and McMahon tonight. McMahon back off the injury list. Robertson in particular has earned ice time. Bertuzzi needs better numbers, and Nyes has to solidify his role there. Now, let's go to Holmberg. As you said, he's played all over the roster, and this is an opportunity for him to nail something down, although it's an injury replacement for Cam. And Yarncroke is out, so that's an opportunity for Gregor.
It's an opportunity for Gregor playing on the third line with Domi and Robertson. The big thing for this line, this third line tonight, is don't be a liability. Like, when I see this line, this has the potential to be a line that Sheldon Keefe has to shelter and try and avoid some matchups, some tough matchups. But like for Max Domi going into the trade deadline to really solidify himself as the third line center in this group, and he's done a better job of this as the season has gone on. Continue to be a trustworthy guy defensively, so Sheldon Keefe feels comfortable putting you on the ice against almost any other opponent in the NHL. That's a big task. It's a tall ask, but it's something that he's more than capable of. I think the big thing that this group needs to focus on for the next month leading into the trade deadline, Jimmy, is if you ask someone, what's the identity of this group? It has to change from they will go as far as the Stars will take them on a night-to-night basis to saying, okay, we've seen them play really good defensively. They're fast. They have the puck all night long. Like, those are the things at times we've said about this group. Maybe not this group, but years past. We haven't said it enough this year. This year, it's always Matthews had a hat trick, Marner had a big night, Nylander had a big night, and the team won the game. Like, they need to have a team identity that they can go to, and then the general manager, Brad Treliving, can tinker as far as what this group needs to kind of bolster it for a playoff run.
You're talking about outscoring your problems. They did not have to do that against the Jets in both of those games.
Those are two great examples of how a team that is, explosive offensively, let's say, in Toronto, can play a different style of game and win that style of game. And that's something they haven't done as much of this year as maybe a lot of people would like, but it was a good little showing for them in a home-and-home against Winnipeg, a really stingy defensive team with a really good goaltender, to have those types of performances. And now that has to continue for them here in the second half. Win a bunch of games in different ways and show your general manager what this team is all about.
Frankie C., look forward to the conversation in between periods, between the first and second and third. Samsonov starts in goal tonight. And, of course, we didn't talk about Ryan Reeves, who's on the fourth line tonight and maybe earns a spot back in this lineup on a regular basis. We will see. So it's the Leafs against the Islanders. Both teams have plenty to play for, and the opening faceoff is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This is really profound, huge trade.
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of SiriusXM.
New owner for the Orioles. Now here's Corbin Burns. I mean, that is absolutely sensational.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This guy is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Expert analysis on MLB Network Radio.
This is massive. I see this rotation competing with some of the best rotations in baseball.
Live sports talk when you need it is on SiriusXM in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning.
Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
Whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. The kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
You think, can you pay the guy? I think what we've learned the last 4 years is that you can. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas. They were all built on elite superstar talent. But what they also had was great management. And that's the one thing the Leafs haven't done. They've never done. Dubas never did it. I think we could all argue Treliving's not off to a great start trying to do it this year. Becomes a huge challenge.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
NHL All-Star Weekend returns to Toronto, and SiriusXM NHL Network Radio brings you all the action.
Pass and a quick shot. Scores! Matthews!
Lost for Crosby for the HP. He's good!
Hear conversations with all-star players and coaches. All-Star Media Day, player draft, skills competition, and play-by-play of the 2024 All-Star Game. 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend live. Beginning February 1st on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with him and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM SC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the number one league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No, what we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kerr, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The All-Star break is over, and the Maple Leafs are back in action here this evening as they host the New York Islanders, trying not to be swept in this season series, as the Maple Leafs will start goaltender Ilya Samsonov, who is among the hottest in the league. He is 8-3-6 with a 3.36 goals against average, but he has won his last 3 starts and has a 0.98 goals against average in those games. And at the other end, Ilya Sorokin is in goal for the New York Islanders. He is 14-12-9, 3.17. We're underway as the puck is down in the Toronto zone. Cut off at the blue line and kept in there by Pulock. The puck comes back to the point to him again, and a shot deflected in front of the net by Pajot. The Leafs will get it to the line, but not out. The Tavares line starting for Toronto as a long lead pass comes to center to Nylander. Nylander circles at his own blue line. Plays it on the backhand down into the corner. In goes Nyes after it as the Leafs are in the middle of a line change. Matthews against the boards, the first star of the week, and a centering pass, and old Marner just had that go by his stick, or he had a tap in. Kept in at the blue line by the Leafs. Riley will punch it in a little bit deeper. Barzal got there for the Islanders. The puck in the corner. Matthews trying to dig it free and has. Played it into the slot area. Into the slot for the drive. A pad save made by Sorokin. And a juicy rebound that was not converted. Played to center now by the Islanders to the line. Brody ties up his man and comes away with the loose puck to Morgan Riley. Riley starting out with a pass up on the left wing for Max Domi. Domi to the line, got it into the half wall, couldn't get a pass in front of the net. It comes to center, and the Islanders are going to break it in off a stick and knock it down towards the net. Good play there by the goaltender to play it into the corner for the Leafs as the puck comes free. Centering pass in front, wired off the post. In behind goaltender Samsonov. The Leafs will get it out at center ice. Joe Bone along with Jim Ralph as the Leafs steal the puck for a moment down in the Islander zone. Played ahead, and Giordano knocking it to the blue line and went off a skate with the player halfway out, so they're going to not call too many men on the ice because it would have only been half a man.
Half a skate, almost. To be able to do it, as you mentioned, the Leafs have lost both games to the New York Islanders. Both games, the Leafs were the road team, and both games were 4-3 overtime losses. The first one was when Morgan Riley tied the game in the dying seconds. That's when John Tavares picked up his 1,000th career point. Leafs lost that in overtime. Then the last time these two teams met, the Leafs blew a 2-goal lead in the second period before losing in extra time.
Islanders are leading the league in overtime performances, 18. The Leafs are right behind them with 17. Played in over the line by Holmstrom. Down into the corner goes McMahon, but they're going to call this icing. The Leafs scratches tonight. David Camp nursing an injury sustained in the last Leaf game. Connor Timmins and William Lagesson out of the lineup. So Ryan Reeves gets back-to-back opportunities here, and he had a pretty memorable game in the game against Winnipeg, picking up his second goal of the season.
I think what you really noticed in that game, Joe, was that you did notice him. You saw him in on the forecheck. There was some speed. There was some physical play from Ryan Reeves. Well, maybe this.
Whoa! Shot right off the face-off, went off the backboard, and Samsonov had to do a little Irish two-step there to make sure it didn't carry him off the back of his leg and into the net. Might have been the best save he's made. That was
just to get out of the way.
Get out of the way, exactly. It was a great play. Nyes chipping it ahead, too far for Matthews, who hustles down after the puck. It's played around back of the net. Islanders trying to get it out and do, but it's out of the reach of Lee. And the Leafs are under control as it is played by Riley out at center. Nyes chipping it to the blue line. Matthew Barzal starting back, dropping it back for Ryan Pulock, who gets it in over the line, but the Leafs have it there. Riley with it on the left wing boards. Carries to center. Works in on the wing, sends an easy shot that deflects wide of the net. Knocked down behind the net. Might have been a penalty there against Tavares as Adam Pelech was lifted off his skates. But it's played out at center ice now, and look out. It almost ended up in the Leaf bench on a wired pass. But it comes out at center ice. Knocked in over the line and knocked down on the play was Bertuzzi. Hard to recognize Tyler Bertuzzi. For the second straight year, he has donated his long locks to the Hospital for Sick Kids, or cancer patients that would like to have a little hair going during their treatments. And so he's well sheared at this point. Leafs with it down in front of the net, and a wrist shot taken by Robertson, deflected wide. The rebound up on the wing, and it's going to be brought out at center ice. And now Giordano will circle back in his own zone. Dropped it back, gets it returned, swings it along the boards and out on the wing. Domi takes a hit to make a play to get it ahead, but it is knocked into the stands off a stick and out of play as we played 4 minutes and 19 seconds scoreless here in the first period.
And this is, I realize this is early February, but this is a pretty significant game when you look at the standings. The Leafs right now tied with the Red Wings for the 2 wild card spots left in the Eastern Conference. Next are the New York Islanders, who are 6 back of the Leafs. Toronto has 2 games in hand. Wouldn't you rather that be 8 than 4?
Absolutely. Islanders making the coaching change, of course. Patrick Roy in behind their bench. But it hasn't been overly successful. 1-2-1 their record with him calling the shots. Lou Lamoriello making the coaching change. Pass ahead, comes out at center for Toronto. Robertson knocked down on the play. He was in a lone ranger rush and couldn't make a move with it, and now played back down into the Toronto zone. Riley steps smartly out from behind his net to get it up on the wing. Brody trying to find Holmberg. It goes into the corner. Pontus Holmberg sends it around the boards into the near corner. Oh, a good hit there by McMahon. And the puck comes out into the center ice area. Played down in towards the goal. Steered aside by Samsonov. Pushed up on the wing, but it won't clear. Then a shot knocked down in front of the net by the Leaf goaltender. It comes back to the point. Kept alive by Pulock. In along the half boards. Back to Pulock, and a shot coming. I don't know what that hit, but it didn't look comfortable as far as Ilya Samsonov. It might have gone off the top of his mask.
Well, I was even thinking maybe the knob of the shaft of the goal stick above the blocker. But that was high, and you're right. His response to that shot was one of almost disbelief.
Oh, good, he had hit me. And the shot goes wide of the Leaf goal and caroms all the way down into Islander territory. They've had 3 of the first 4 shots on goal. New York in their own zone. Played to center, broken up by the Leafs. Nicely played in over the line by Nyes. Nyes to the front of the net with a shot. And he went for the short side. The rebound is knocked away by Sorokin. In along the boards, pushed back out at center ice, and it'll force Giordano back, but stolen back now by the Islanders. Walmstrom in with a shot that went wide. The Leafs play it off the boards to the line, just kept in. To the near side is Mayfield. Scott Mayfield with a shot that deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Liljegren ties up his man in the corner. Matthews in trying to dig it free, but it is dug free instead by Brock Nelson. Back to the point, and a shot coming in a screen, and that was deflected wide, and it ricochets all the way to center ice. Islanders have been the more aggressive of the 2, and a chance here with another shot taken by Engvall was stopped by goaltender Samsonov. Another pass into the slot, and another long shot, and Samsonov kicks it aside, and Robertson doesn't get the puck out, brought it back deeper into his own end, but both teams in need of a change, and things will stretch out. On the left wing it comes. Fired by Bertuzzi into the offensive zone. Grabbed off there by the Islanders at the side of the net. Backhanded to the line. Not cleared. Bertuzzi took a baseball swing at it and missed. Now here's Tavares centering and pass on the wing. A pass in for Bertuzzi. And he didn't get his stick on it for a backdoor try right at the edge of the crease. Here's Tavares in with a shot. Got a rebound. It goes through the goal crease. And it's knocked just wide of the net. Best scoring chance for either team. Centering pass, shot by Reeves, went wide of the goal. Kept alive by Benoit. Benoit circles the net. Far corner now. Benoit dropping the puck back. Domi with a pass in front that was knocked away, and the Islanders relieve the pressure and get it out at center. Domi upended. No call. Centering pass blocked. Gregor overskates the puck. And the Islanders get control in their own end and skate it out at center. Lee has it go off a leg, but it'll be carried on by the Islanders before Nylander got back to steal it. And one of the Leafs All-Stars will get it to his defenseman and is brought out at center ice with a pass, but a bad one is intercepted easily by Noah Dobson. We'll be mentioning Dobson's name a lot. He plays a lot. Here the Leafs in with a shot and a glove save made by Sorokin. And he's going to hold on. Pretty good start to this one. 5 apiece and the shots on goal. No score. 11:17 to go. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning.
Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the number 1 league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No. What we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kerr, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Face-off coming in the Islander zone. A welcome back Pierre Engvall video.
Yeah, well,
he was traded February 28th in 2023. Played 18 games with the Islanders, but his first game back in Toronto is tonight.
I don't know why I thought he had already been back, and I guess more of a poster than a video. It was. Sorry, Pierre.
Can't find a lot of highlights. You just do the poster.
We're not saying that, but maybe somebody else did.
Yeah.
This shots on goal favor the Leafs 6-5.
You know what? That's the way to get out of it.
Yeah.
Do the shots
somebody
on goal.
else said, yeah. That's 11 total.
Here we go. Leafs with it in the offensive zone with Tavares. Tavares still with it on the near half boards. Gets it back to the point. Liljegren across ice. One-timer coming to the net, and it was stopped by Sorokin. Back to the point. Liljegren again. This time off a leg. It goes wide. Nylander to the blue line. Liljegren unable to keep it in. Plays it in on a delay. And Noah Dobson, who is 4th in average ice time in the league. So he plays a lot for the New York Islanders. Around the boards, it'll come out at center ice for Marner. Nice little tip pass for Nice, trying to find Matthews in front. Good back checking there from Engvall. Now a centering pass, and Marner let a wrist shot go that went just wide. He's able to keep it in at the blue line. Dishes back. Matthews! Shot wide. The rebound! And there was Riley, but he couldn't get it to the net. Engvall gets it out at center, but the pass is well out of the reach. But no icing called by the linesman, which was a generous call by the official as far as the Islanders were concerned, but the Leafs have it now with a change of players starting.
Both teams have shown some jump early on, haven't they? Sometimes after the All-Star break, you've got guys that take a period or so to get going.
Now here's Gregor looking in for Robertson. He got his stick on it, but deflected it just wide of the net. Islanders get it out into the neutral zone. Bouncing puck brought on by Barzal. Barzal to the line, looks into the slot with a shot. That was up, but the rebound is hammered home. Did the first one go off the goal post? I believe it did. But the second one, Barzal is there to drill it home. And the Islanders, who have been very good in the first periods this year, have taken the opening lead.
Well, Matt Barzal did not have to travel to Toronto yesterday. He was a part of Austin Matthews' All-Star team that won Saturday afternoon. Looks like the Leafs are going to get another break. Second goalpost by the Islanders 10 minutes into this game. But the rebound came out from behind Ilya Samsonov. I think Samsonov thought the original shot was in, Joe.
Yeah.
As he seemed to freeze, almost give up on it. Adam Pellet let the blast go from the top of the right wing circle. The rebound bounced out from in behind Ilya Samsonov to the slot and easily put home for a 1-0 Islander lead.
So the Islanders get the opening goal of the hockey game. And when they score first, they are 14-3-9. As it's played down into the into the Islander zone. Back of the net, Scott Mayfield getting it up on the wing and out at center. And then back to retrieve it is McMahon, who plays it ahead, and now Holmberg will drop it back. The Leafs go D to D. Giordano gets it ahead, and McMahon will backhand it high into the far corner. Tavares into the forecheck. Errant pass, gobbled up by Toronto. Here's Riley looking in front, then tried to play it to Tavares at the side of the goal. It was deflected away. Nylander can't keep it in, and the Islanders get it out at center, but Willie gets back there to steal it back. Now brings it in on the right wing. Takes it into the corner. Still has it. Got it down low. Centering pass! Oh, what a chance Tavares had. And a good save by Sorokin. Riley can't keep it in. It comes back into neutral ice. Tavares, who ended the drought the other night. Riley with a diagonal pass into the far corner. Bertuzzi unable to get to it, but Tavares gets it into the slot. Nylander drills it into the chest of Sorokin. And the Maple Leafs now with 9 shots on goal, but trailing in the game 1-0. Barzal from Pelech and Lee, the scoring play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey everybody, Mike from Toronto Sports Insider. Thank you all for getting us over the 7,000 subscriber mark. Let's keep it going. Let's have some fun tonight in the chat. Smash that like button down below. And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on so you can hang out with us every single Leafs game or Toronto sports event. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys soon. Let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
Off the backboard and in. A bank shot. Well, that's actually the sound of a fan winning a Raptors jersey. That's the sound of a fan getting a signed Raptors basketball. And that's a fan scoring tickets to the NBA Finals. With the Tangerine Bank Shot contest, every bank shot the Raptors score this season wins a fan a prize. Enter for a chance to win at tangerine.ca/bankshot. Tangerine, that's forward banking.
Did you fix that leaky tap?
Uh-huh.
How about that loose doorknob?
Uh-huh.
Right now, we can get a free medium pizza from 2 for $1 Pizza.
Did somebody say free pizza?
See, it's not just the kids that have selective hearing.
Right now, get a free medium 1-topping pizza with a minimum $25 purchase before tax and delivery. Limited time offer. Online orders only. Visit 2for1pizza.com and use coupon code FREEM.
2 for 1 pizza.
Little bit of house cleaning here. Lanny McDonald, who is here for the All-Star festivities, suffering a cardiac situation. I'm assuming that it is a mild heart attack of some, but was assisted by two nurses who are taking a flight elsewhere. Got him to hospital. He's resting fine. He's been texting and putting out on the internet that he's going to be all right. And maybe you could wish this guy a happy birthday and use your
no
imitating. Come on.
But Donald S. Cherry, absolutely. 90 years old.
90 years young. You know what? I'm betting he's sitting in his sauna listening to us, as he used to do that regularly when we saw him on a regular basis. As Nylander gets it in over the line, dropping into the corner, bouncing puck into the slot, controlled by Engvall and skated out at center ice. And the Leafs come away with it as Riley sends it back into Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi doesn't shoot it, tried to take it around back of the net, but was thundered to the boards there by Ryan Pulock. And the Islanders have iced the puck. And it'll come back into New York territory.
What a play by Morgan Riley there. Has to go back towards the Leaf end to hunt down the puck, and in one motion just throws it back, reverses it back off the left wing boards right under the stick of Tyler Bertuzzi. Came in and got a shot on goal. The Leafs outshooting the Islanders 9-6. You talk about the Islanders being good in the first period. They've only given up 31 goals in the first. That's the fourth best for the National Hockey League.
It's the second.
They go from 31 to 65 they've given up in the second period, which is the third most in the NHL.
Is one of the reasons that they are 8-11-5 on the road and 20-17-12 overall. There's Matthews up on the right side, shot in by McCabe, stopped back of the net by the Islander goalkeeper, then played ahead on the left wing, and New York's brings him across with Barzal into the slot, dropping it back in a shot. That was stopped. Samsonov kind of got out of position there as it comes over on the near wing, back to the point again with a shot, and that's deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Played into the corner. Liljegren unable to make a play as it comes free to Marner. Marner quickly gets it off the stick of Nyes, but it's going to go the length of the ice. And an icing call with 6:25 left in the period brings the faceoff back into the Toronto zone.
Yep, really is Samsonov, the 3 games coming into this one. Just 3 goals against, and actually the third one was in the dying seconds of the win in Winnipeg. 3-0, .960 save percentage in the last 3 games. What does that do for your overall numbers?
Well, I don't know.
Not a whole lot. Do you think his save percentage for Samsonov coming in is still at .878?
At the point, kept in by the Islanders. Pajot gets it down around back into the far corner. Marner couldn't get there. The official kind of got in the way, but the puck comes out in front back to the blue line. Dished off onto the left wing side. It'll come to the near side for Mayfield. His shot in traffic blocked by Nyes. Mayfield with another backhand. That stopped Nyes. Knocked down again and tumbled. It comes back to Pajot. Over on the left wing with a long shot that went wide of the Leaf net. Mayfield sends it again wide of the goal. Far side, another shot off a leg. It's a pinball coming back into the slot area, and the Leafs are finally going to get a stick on it and backhand it out at center ice, but out of the reach of Marner as it goes down into Islander territory. And wow, a bit of a break on the icing call there for the New Yorkers as Tyson Baker and Mark Schuchuk are the linesmen tonight. Garrett Rank and Brandon Blandina are the officials.
And Mitch Marner does not agree with the icing call. Kind of threw his arms up in the air, but Matthews' line is now out for back-to-back icings. Got to be getting close to the 1 minute mark on the shift. Face off to the right of Ilya Samsonov.
Matthews taking the draw. And the puck goes into the corner. Liljegren sending it around the boards. And it is Giordano getting it ahead and now brought on by Noah Gregor. Gregor taken to the boards but got it into the corner on the far side. Tavares unable to come up with it. Then Gregor steals it at the blue line and just does keep it in for Nylander. Nylander against the boards is taken out. And now here is Pollock getting it out at center for New York. They get it to the line and dump it in. Round the boards, Riley sweeping it back to the far side. Barzal got there first. Brody trying to battle along the boards along with Tavares. It comes free to Gregor, and Gregor backhands to center ice. Dobson is there. Both teams getting a change started. Dobson just patiently waiting. There's no pressure. And now gets it up on the wing. Brought in over the line now by Brock Nelson. Drop pass and a shot stopped by Samsonov. And he's able to get the glove down on it after making a right pad save.
You and I were kind of discussing this in the commercial break. Only 1 goal and 8 shots against Ilya Samsonov, but looking a little jittery here in the opening period against the Islanders.
Certainly not as smooth as he's been in his last 3 games. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This is really profound. Huge trade.
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of Sirius XM.
New owner for the Orioles. Now here's Corbin Burns. I mean, that is absolutely sensational.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This guy is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Expert analysis on MLB Network Radio.
This is massive. I see this rotation competing with some of the best rotations in baseball.
Live sports talk when you need it is on Sirius XM in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning.
Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
You think, can you pay the guy? I think what we've learned the last 4 years is that you can. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas. They were all built on elite superstar talent. But what they also had was great management. And that's the one thing the Leafs haven't done. They've never done. Dubas never did it. I think we could all argue Treliving's not off to a great start trying to do it this year. Becomes a huge challenge.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
One of the great things about NHL All-Star Games or the draft is running into special friends and people, and one couple are listening to us as it rolls in on goal and covers up. Pete and Claudia Weber are home in Nashville with their feet up after being here for the weekend. We had a nice time having lunch with them the other day. Good. I don't know why they're bothering sitting listening to us. I mean, they got to have better things to do than that.
I mean, the marriage looks a lot better on the outside, doesn't it? What do you want to do?
Hey, what do you want to do tonight, sweetie? Why don't we listen to Ralphie and Joe? Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And here I thought everything was going well. At least with it, don't get it out. Well, you and I are a perfect example of how that works. Played down into the Islander zone. McMahon gets it into the corner, comes back to the point. Benoit can't shoot it, gets it to his defense partner, whose shot went wide of the goal. Leafs trying to keep it in. McMahon gets it into the corner. Pontus Holmberg sends it around back of the net. McCabe realizes he's sort of by himself down there as the Leafs were changing, but couldn't get a stick on it. And a penalty coming here to the Leafs.
Ryan Reeves.
Whoa, and then McCabe thunders into one of his.
And I don't know
why. There too.
I don't know what this penalty is for. If they call it boarding, I don't think the Islander player even hit the boards on the hit from Reeves.
Penalty number 75 has 2 minutes for boarding.
Isn't that part of the penalty? Is you actually have to go into the boards?
If it's called boarding, I believe that is probably, well, I guess he did get a piece of Matt Martin that he stepped into.
I mean, he barely. This is a reputation call, would you not say?
They are known to happen. Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Leafs win the draw, and it is played off the glass and down the ice by Mitch Marner.
Islander power play 11th in the National Hockey League, so respectable, but just 3 for 23 in their last 8 games. All 3 of those goals came against Montreal in one game.
Played around the boards by Bo Horvat. The London native gets it to the near side. Stolen on the backhand and backhanded down the ice, courtesy William Nylander. Dobson going to the attack now. Starts out. He'll bring it to center. Dropping it back. Brought on by Barzal. Quickly to the left wing side. Pajot sends it around the boards to the near wing. Pinching down there is Palmieri to keep it alive. Islanders try to get it to the side of the goal. It comes back into the slot. Dobson playing it off on the wing, gets it back again. Dobson to the left wing side. Kept alive over there by Horvat. Now on the near wing, and a block shot made by Benoit, and it goes into the crowd. And Simon Benoit getting up and limping, but getting a round of applause for sacrificing his body.
Boy, and this was a big push down on one knee, turn.
It wasn't.
Take it off the outside of the left knee. You could tell, I mean, even defensemen that are good at blocking pucks, Joe, you could tell they'd never make it as goaltenders.
No. They don't get square. They don't use the equipment.
You admire the bravery.
You know, every other sport, every other little discipline, there is some sort of a practice session for it. I don't think any team says, all right, today we're blocking shots, guys. Bring some extra equipment. Here's a chance now for Engvall with a shot. Down is the Leaf netminder, sprawling around in the goal crease, and somewhere underneath that pad is the rondelle. And he holds it out.
Boy, Pierre Engvall let it go from the top of the right wing circle. Joe, I think this goes off Giordano. I think it's headed to the right of Samsonov. It clips off Giordano and changes directions.
Yes, off his knee. Right off his knee.
Then, under the left pad, Anders Lee in front of the Leaf net looking for the rebound.
Shot from the point is blocked, wired off the board's end and sent out and down the ice by Toronto. 28 seconds to go in the power play. 2:08 to play in the first period. 1-0 Islanders. Horvat and Pajot get it in over the line. Far side, Pulock trying to get it back to the point of drive. That was stopped by Samsonov, and the Leafs are able to get it out at center ice. Final seconds in the power play. Mike Riley sends it into the Leaf end. Penalty expires. Leafs trying for a long lead pass. And they're going to call an icing. Now, Ryan Reeves took his time getting out of the penalty box. I think this is the right call. I think the penalty had expired.
You think Reeves was smart enough to think, hey, wait a minute, I'm not out here.
I'm not out here.
Short.
Yeah. But it is going to be an icing call. And I think it was Riley thinking, you know what, he should be out there by now. And he was not. So the breakaway pass didn't quite have its desired effect. Reeves trying to find Riley, but it went off an Islander stick and into New York territory. And the discussion will be, when the penalty's up, we know it too. You need to get out there, and we'll give you a breakaway pass. Yeah, but I won't score on it, so there's really no reason to do it. All right, fine. We'll renegotiate. Pelech knocks it down into the Toronto zone. Robertson is there, and another penalty for interference coming this time to the Leafs.
All right, so is that the level?
Well, if it is.
Holmgren does latch onto his man. I believe it's Barzal on the far side. For 59, it's Bertuzzi, not Holmberg.
Oh, all right.
Interference is the call, but I mean, we're kind of getting into that territory where you say that's fine. This is where it is. Barzal looked like he kind of reached around with his arm as well and latched on. But, power plays could be 12-12 if this is what the line is.
18:55 the time, and the penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Second power play for the Islanders, brought on now by Barzal. Dropping it back to Barzal, a shot, and that went off the Leaf netminder up into the screen and out of play. And the face-off in the Leaf zone will be brought to you by Alpine Credits. Do you own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca.
Well, there's also one of the teams with the fewest power plays on the season. Might be caught up by the time and this one's
at
done.
137 now. The Leafs are at 138. Point by Dobson into the corner. Looking back into the slot, finding Bo Horvat. Gets a shot away. That was blocked by Marner. It comes back to the blue line, but out of the reach. And all the way down into the Islander zone. Whoa! Goaltender Sorokin made a pass, and Marner made a dart for it, but just was out of the reach. Now Marner is taken down without a call. He comes away with a loose puck, however, and now carries to center. Up on the left wing now for Benoit. Benoit tried to center in front, then tried to play it in front of the goal, but it hit the side of the net. Final 3 seconds in the period, and that'll do it. So the Islanders get the opening goal on a goal by Barzal from Pelech and Lee, and that is where we stand. 1-0 New York.
Well, let's get this out a little bit early instead of waiting for the Leafs shutout streak to go. We talked about how the Islanders have been great in the top four for fewest goals against in the opening period. Well, since entering the league in 2021, Ilya Sorokin has 18 shutouts in 167 games. Wow. Pretty good ratio.
Yep.
Sorokin's coach had 66 shutouts in 1,029 games. So, I mean, if you go by percentages, yes. Sorokin's right there.
All right. 1-0 Islanders. Jim Taddy along with Frankie Corrado coming by with our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Super Bowl week is here, and nobody brings you closer to the biggest event of the year than SiriusXM Super Bowl 58 Radio. The stars of the sports and entertainment worlds converge in Las Vegas, and we'll be covering them all.
Flavor Flav.
I've always been a big fan of football.
Yeah, boy. And it's the only place to hear the game. Plus the Apple Music halftime show starring Usher. Your ticket to everything happening at the Super Bowl is Super Bowl 58 Radio, channel 106 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning.
Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
You think, can you pay the guy? I think what we've learned the last 4 years is that you can't. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas. They were all built on elite superstar talent. But what they also had was great management. And that's the one thing the Leafs haven't done. They've never done. Dubas never did it. I think we could all argue Treliving's not off to a great start trying to do it this year. Becomes a huge challenge.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
NHL All-Star Weekend returns to Toronto, and SiriusXM NHL Network Radio brings you all the action.
Pass and a quick shot. Scores! Matthews!
Ross for Crosby for the HP. He's good! Hear conversations with all-star players and coaches. All-Star Media Day, player draft, skills competition, and play-by-play of the 2024 All-Star Game. 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend live, beginning February 1st on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with him and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the number one league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No. What we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And trailing 1-0 to the Islanders after 20 minutes of play. TSN After 20 brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Unhibernate, redefine winter fun with the Subaru all-weather capability. Visit your local Subaru dealer and welcome to uncommon winter confidence. And Frankie C., 1-0. Leafs could have had some goals.
They could have had some goals. The Islanders are not very good in their own zone, and there's a little room for the Leafs. We saw Tyler Bertuzzi just barely miss on the back door. TJ Brody was able to walk right into a one-timer. Big rebound. It was a little too much for Mitch Marner to handle, but there are going to be opportunities in the defensive zone because the Islanders, they have a good D-core, but defensively as a five-man unit, they don't play very well. Their goaltender's good. Like Ilya Sorokin covers up for a lot of the shortcomings that team has defensively. They're a work in progress. Like, that's why they have a new coach here, because they need to shore things up defensively. That's still a work in progress, but the goalie was really good in that period. But it's the Leafs who find themselves trailing 1-0 after a really nice sequence by Matthew Barzal that leads to ultimately his goal.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, if you want to contrast, the Islanders in their own zone and then the Islanders offensively are quite different. They really attack, don't they?
They attack, but it really only happens when Barzal is on the ice. Like, you can really tell the difference in that team as far as the speed and skill level when he's on the ice and all the different things that he facilitates for that group. There were a couple times where off the rush, he's able to thread a couple passes, dart through the middle of the ice, but on the goal, he's the one who makes it happen, and he victimizes the Leafs' third line. And we talked about this coming into the game. That line has to show that they're trustworthy against opponents on the other team who can score, who are really good offensively. And it's Nick Robertson and Max Domi who are kind of chasing Barzal, circling high in the zone. Barzal has a lot of room. It leads to a one-time opportunity for Pelech. Pelech hits the post. Now, for me, Jimmy, Samsonov needs to have that puck. That should be right in his glove. That should be caught. It should be an easy save. Instead, it gets past him. It hits the post. Coming off the post, it goes right onto the tape of Barzal. It's an easy tap-in. So there's a number of things that lead to that breakdown. First of all, either Robertson or Domi has to take that ice away from Barzal before he's able to make that one-time pass. And then Samsonov needs to make that initial save. And I think we're going to have the question, coming up here as the game goes on, depending how Samsonov settles in. Does he look like the Samsonov we saw, right before the break? Or does he look like the Samsonov that we saw earlier on in the season? Because it looked a little uncomfortable for him to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, on that play, I agree with you. Should have made the save, then there's no rebounder off the post. I know he hit the post, but he didn't get over there fast enough, and then he sort of overcorrected.
Well, and the thing about that, it's the one-timer, the pass happens so far, high in the zone, that he has time to get over and adjust. If it happens in the slot area, it's bang, bang. Okay, desperation save. You kind of throw all your technique out the window. You're just trying to make a save. But when it happens that high out at the blue line, it should be a fairly routine kind of motion, okay? You get over. It was right, right where his glove should have been.
Yeah.
So, and then we saw in first shift of the game, Kyle Palmieri hits the post, and it was a little loose D-zone coverage for the Leafs. It was the Domi line again. So, that's two instances now where there's a little too much room in the defensive zone with that line. And now you got to wonder, does Sheldon Keefe look to make a change or maybe keep those guys off the ice when there's certain players on the ice?
So here's the question that anybody who has not played in the NHL would have for you. You're playing the Islanders. Barzal comes over the boards. Watch him.
Why wouldn't you watch him right away?
Well,
why wouldn't somebody pick him up?
Well, okay, yeah, you play your game. Everyone says that. It's such a cliche term where it's like you play your game and you want to be available to get the puck. You want to be available to be on breakouts for your team. You want to play within your structure. You don't think, let me just follow this guy around the ice, because it's a weird thing. It's foreign. We don't really do that kind of stuff. But when he is on the ice, especially if you're if you're kind of matched up with him, you have to understand that you have to have an understanding of where he is and what he's capable of doing. And a guy like that, what makes him a little more dangerous is that he'll find quiet areas of the ice, and then he'll kind of get back to where the play is happening, the action is happening.
Slippery.
Exactly, and that's how those guys, they always seem to find a little more room. The other thing that kind of comes to light after that period, at 5-on-5, the Leafs are carrying the play. Don't take penalties that are going to give the Islanders opportunities because, that's 2 penalties. Reeves takes a boarding call where he hits Matt Martin. Bertuzzi takes an interference penalty on Matt Barzal. And there he is. You know what? He's at least trying to get in Barzal's way a little bit. It's probably a little too much. It's interference. He takes a penalty. But the momentum shifts so much because the Leafs can really carry the play at 5-on-5 against this team. It's just don't let them play for 2 minutes in your own zone. That's 4 minutes now. And it took the wind out of the sails of the Leafs in that period.
Well, and the thing about Barzal is, his whatever he's going to do is going to happen fast. You saw it 3 or 4 times. Puck's on the stick for a half second, and it's off the post or in the net. It's a fast play. You can't give him any room.
Well, so he plays on a line with Bo Horvat, who's the centerman, who he's pretty good offensively. He's having a good season. He's a bigger, bulkier guy, really good at getting body positioning on you. And Anders Lee, who's basically made his career out of scoring goals in front of the net. We saw him right in the blue paint, kind of jamming at a puck in front of Ilya Samsonov. And that was a play where Samsonov really did stand his ground. He kind of used his leg to wedge against the post so the puck wasn't able to go in. So, there's something you kind of grab from that period from Samsonov and say, okay, there's a positive, something to build off of. But that's a tough line to play against because you have 2 guys who can really cycle the puck down low, kind of use their body positioning to shield things. Then you got a guy like Barzal who can facilitate a lot because of his playmaking ability, because of his speed, and so it presents a tough kind of matchup for whoever's on the ice for Toronto. And right now, that can't be the third line. Sheldon Keefe he has to make adjustments here as far as making sure that his third line doesn't get stuck on the ice against the Barzal, Horvat, Anders Lee line, because when they are, you can see how the ice kind of opens up for them.
Well, we'll watch that in the second period. I'm looking for an adjustment that way. 1-0 for the Islanders over the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Today, when it comes to following sports, a basic box score just won't cut it. Get the stats behind the stats with NHL Edge. So you won't just see Makar's time on ice. You'll see where he spent it. You won't just know Matthews scored. You'll know how hard he shot it. And you won't just get OV's shot total. You'll know where he shot it from, even if they're all from the same place. Know more about every stat, every shift, and every star with NHL Edge.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Ron is a teacher helping bright minds, but this time he needed help. Alpine Credit sent a cosmic superhero with a debt consolidation loan. She conjured a magic book, Debt Consolidation 101. Lesson 1, consolidate debt into one low monthly payment. Lesson 2, nothing. It's a short book. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Walmart is the #1 place to save on groceries. Save $2.53 on fresh white cauliflower, now only $1.44. Or save on a pint of tasty blueberries, on for only $2.84. Walmart. Save money, live better.
Final call for the Air France rendezvous.
Until February the 6th, enjoy fares at the very best prices during the Air France Rendezvous and benefit from our 90 years of experience of in-flight fine dining, design and comfort. Our very best 90th anniversary fares have just landed. Book your flight to Paris starting at $855 return. From Toronto, tax included. Elegance is a journey. Air France. Travel from January 24th to June 2024. See conditions at airfrance.ca.
At Trillium Health Partners, we're ready to see you. Not just as a patient, but as a person who needs innovative care with a human touch, a person with a life, with hopes, and with fears. At Trillium Health Partners, we'll see the whole you, our nurses, our doctors, and our staff. Because when we care for the whole person, our whole community gets stronger. Trillium Health Partners, we see you. Learn more at weseeyou.ca.
Don't brave the winter weather. Stay in and enjoy the Voila magic.
Hey everybody, Mike from TSI. Join our awesome community today. You see all those awesome emojis in the chat? See everybody's names rolling down the bottom of the screen here? Get your name in that list. It's only 99 cents a month. 99 cents, you can't even get a coffee for 99 cents anymore, guys. Video, you'll see the link to join in the description. Let's get back to the action. Go Leafs, go. Let's finish strong, boys.
McCarr now has 47 assists, and Manson got the other assist. So Colorado won, the Rangers nothing after 20 minutes of play. Here it is, the Islanders 1-0 over the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on Sirius XM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Erling Haaland has 5!
The Champions League knockout stage returns February 13th on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
You think, can you pay the guy? I think what we've learned the last 4 years is that you can't. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas. They were all built on elite superstar talent. But what they also had was great management. And that's the one thing the Leafs haven't done. They've never done. Dubas never did it. I think we could all argue Treliving's not off to a great start trying to do it this year. Becomes a huge challenge.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Maple Leafs trail after the first period, 1-0 to the New York Islanders on a goal by Matthew Barzal. At 10:31 from Pelican Lee, Barzal with his 14th of the season. And the Maple Leafs trail after being outshot 13-11 and face a 55-second remainder of a second power play. For the New York Islanders, the goal did not come with the man advantage, and the second period is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra Export or XL, there's a Molson with your name on it. I'm going to give a little shout out to my son Derek, who works with Harding Display, who today was out at Molson's doing putting together a really spectacular thing that they've got going, and it is called the Coors Light, the Chill Train. and a real interesting display, if you will, for the folks at Molson. So I'll give my son a little bit of a shout out.
But what exactly does it do? I mean, I know it's a display.
Well, it's, yeah.
No, I see the picture.
For the life of me, I have no idea. But I'm sure.
I'd like to give a shout out to my son who's drank a lot of those.
Who made this all possible. Yes, well, that's good.
So it's really the Ralphs supporting the Bowens.
Well, it is. You know it is. And in a very small but productive way, it is. Trust me, the Bowen family has done fairly well by Molson's anyway, yes.
It's all about giving back.
It is, yes. And 4 thirsty lads will do that. At any rate, Leafs to the left, and the puck is dropped, and off the faceoff, quickly sent down the ice by Giordano. Islanders start out of their own end. Get it up at center. Played in on the right wing corner, trying to look back at the net for Brock Nelson. Intercepted and swung into the corner, but it was partially blocked. Marner gets there to get it freed up for Brody, and Brody has an avenue off the far boards to ice and sends it down into the Islander zone. Barzal starts back out. 20 seconds left in the power play. Weaves to the right wing side, forced wide, and then clobbered with a great hit there from Benoit and Bo Horvat now are going to trade punches because of the hit. Benoit trying to get an arm free. He's got that right hand caught. Uppercut lands on the button. Still free. Another right hand. Couple of rights. Down goes Horvat. Back up he comes. He wants more of it. And Benoit, he go to the ice. I'll tell you what. This kid's become a fan favorite, and he's a favorite of mine. I love the way he plays.
And a big hit here in the second. And I'll tell you one thing.
Number 14 has 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct and 5 minutes for fighting. Toronto number 2 has 5 minutes for fighting.
Here's the accounting department taking over. How can we give him 2, but not 10? So we're not going to give him the instigator. We're going to make it roughing. Isn't that neat how they can do that sometimes? Now, if you're a Leaf, would you not say, I think I'd rather have Horvat gone for the next 10 minutes?
Or, well, 15, I guess. Yeah.
So, but this is, the thing that you sort of shake your head. It's the instigator, right?
Yep.
It's an instigator, but you can disguise it by calling it roughing.
But what I love, the hit was a great hit. Great hit. And if you're out there and Benoit is on the ice, you better have discussed this in the dressing room. Because he's coming across.
Boy, Benoit looks like he needs some ice for the knuckles.
Well, he landed on more than one occasion, that's for sure.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, this is the way the game is right now. But if I'm the New York Islanders, I don't know if this is a great trade. I don't know if this sends enough of a message, but the Leafs, for 12 seconds, will play 4-on-4 and then go to their first power play of the game.
Played back into the slot now for Marner. Shooting star! Mitch Marner ties the game. Great play by Morgan Riley, but it sets it up. And Marner snaps it home. And 4-on-4. It is a 1-1 tie.
All right, 5 seconds left in the penalty to Bertuzzi, so not a power play goal for the Leafs. 5 seconds off, and they go back at it, but a big face-off win by John Tavares. And Mitch Marner found himself with some room in the middle of the ice. And he had the option of trying to get the puck back door to Austin Matthews. But Adam Pelech stretched out, took away that lane, and Marner said, fine, I'll take the shot, and snapped it over the glove of Sorokin to tie the game at 1.
21st goal of the season for Mitch Marner. And the Leafs are on the power play now for the first time in the game. Marner in on the left wing for Tavares. Tavares leaves it for Marner. Back to the point, Riley. Riley to Marner again, in tight, gets it back to Riley now to Matthews, now to Marner. A pass down low. Centering in front of the goal, down to Sorokin, and he's going to be able to get a glove on it.
Boy, great movement as the Leafs are able to separate the two forwards from the two Islander defensemen and get a gap. But they're able to work into the front of the net, but John Tavares in looking for a loose puck after Willie Nylander just shoveled it out to the top of the crease.
Yeah, Nylander probably had the best chance, but he had to take it on his backhand and then transfer it to his forehand. By then, the chance had evaporated. Power play brought to you by Ontario Subaru dealers. And the Islanders are going to get the puck out at center ice and bring it to the Leaf blue line, and just in and maybe offside, but it's carried on into the corner and finally dug free. Get more out of every kilometer in a Subaru, starting with award-winning safety at your local Subaru dealer. Leafs in over the line, to the line and offside. And it'll be brought back out into the center ice area. Marner with his 21st of the season and his 54th point. He trails Matthews, who has 58, and Nylander, who has 61.
For the New York Islanders, dead last penalty killing proficiency. 32nd overall, and have killed off just 7 of the last 12 times short in the last 3 games.
And they'll ice the puck. And it'll go around to the far side to Morgan Riley, who mishandled it, but he gets it back again from Tavares and skates back of the net. Now he'll start out. Riley getting it up on the wing to Nylander. Nylander dropping for Marner. Marner through center to the line. Dropped it back, but right onto an Islander stick, and that presents a problem as Holmstrom brings it in on the left wing, trying to get in on it. The Islanders may have the worst penalty kill, but they got 9 shorthanded goals, and Holmstrom leads the league with 5.
Yeah, tied with Travis Konechny in that category.
Brought on by Marner now. Dropping for Matthews. He can't penetrate, so he circles back. 10 seconds left to go in the power play. Brought in on the left wing side. Dropped in along to the half boards. Matthews gets it back again, trying to make a pass, and it is swatted out at center and out of the penalty box. Comes now McLean in a goal and scores! Kyle McLean was serving the penalty, and he gets the pass, makes a move from forehand to backhand, and it is a 2-1 Islander lead.
Only the 6th game of the season for Kyle McLean, and that's his first point. And I mean, this was just easy. Come in and make a move. Ilya Samsonov ended up face first onto the ice in the crease, and McLean just walked around him. And Samsonov commits early. I mean, there wasn't a shot. Samsonov commits and then almost face down the top of the crease as it slid home, and the Islanders have regained their lead. Specialty teams have played a part, haven't they? 4-on-4, and now a goal after a penalty expires coming out of the penalty box.
So the Islanders lead it 2-1. Dobson with it in his own zone. Islanders moving right to left as it's played in for Lee. He tried to center, but a sprawling TJ Brody deflected that away, and the Leafs are able to punch it out, and then Bertuzzi couldn't settle it down, or he had a 2-on-1 breaking with Robertson. Back in over the line come New York. Back to the point, long shot, knocked away, puck in the slot area, and coolly stick handling it with it there is Domi. He'll get it out to Bertuzzi, who flips it in. Robertson after it into the corner. Bertuzzi unable to reach it. Barzal got it to the line, but not out. Giordano with a long shot, blockered up into the screen by Ilya Sorokin, and there'll be a face-off coming in the Islander zone.
Tyler Bertuzzi still looking to get on a bit of a run for the Leafs. Coming into this game, Bertuzzi has 6 goals and 20 points on the season. Has not scored in his last 14 games. Just 6. I shouldn't say that. He has scored in the last 14 games twice. They were both called back. One because of goaltender interference in Winnipeg, and another one that Bertuzzi actually missed it with his stick and ended up kicking it into the net.
So the Maple Leafs trail in the game again. Kyle Clutterbuck gets the assist on the McLean goal. It's played to the point, not out. Point shot coming. That was high and wide of the goal, and a rebound comes around to the far side, and McMahon is able to punch it out at center ice. Palmieri.
That's Kyle McLean's first NHL point, Joe.
Nice. In on the right side. A sharp angle shot hit the side of the goal. Islanders get it back to the point. Pelech to the far side. Gets it into the slot. Barzal dropping it back. It comes to Pelech again. Dropped into the slot once more, and a shot goes high and wide of the Leaf goal. Puck still in the Toronto end, and it goes into the screen and out of play. And a face-off will come in the Toronto zone as a result.
As we mentioned, Kyle McLean from Livingston, New Jersey. 5 seasons with the Oshawa Generals. Last year was the 1920 season, 51 games, 13 goals, 46 points. He's never put up big offensive numbers, but certainly looked like a goal scorer there, didn't he?
Sure did. Played out at center ice. Leafs try to break it free, get it to the line, and it's chipped in and grabbed off there by Clutterbuck. He's played 1,031 games, Kyle Clutterbuck, and has now 288 points. He's not a great point producer, but he has been a mainstay of their fourth line.
Always seems to do something against the Leafs, too, doesn't he? Him and Cizikas.
Yep.
Matt Martin.
Down into the corner it goes for Nylander. Sharp angle try, deflects, and goes out of play. And will be brought back.
Well, John Tavares, the final game before the break in Winnipeg. Tavares got on the board there. That stopped a 10-game goalless streak and a 9-game pointless streak, which is the longest drought of his career.
That line, I think, has been the best the Leafs have put out here tonight.
Boy, though, when you talk about how key specialty teams are, 1-1, you got a power play, you don't score, guy comes out of the box and you're down 2-1.
Sharp angle with a shot, knocked away there off the stick of Matthews. Nyes comes out of the corner, back to Matthews. Matthews trying to get it back to the point, and the Islanders have stolen it away and now break out at center. Brought to the line, stolen back from Romanov, then stolen back by the Leafs. Barzal comes across the line for the Islanders, back to the point. Fed over on the right side, a long pass back in, comes back to the blue line once more. Kept in by Romanov. Alexander Romanov into the corner, centering pass, deflects off the back of the Leaf goal. Matthews got it up on the wing, but unable to get it out was Marner. Matthews and Liljegren. A pass comes back and Matthews is out. It's a 3-on-2 rush if they hustle. Matthews in across the line into Marner. Marner carries down into the corner but is ridden off the disc. And now the Islanders just get it out at center. Riley goes back, being pressured, drops it back for Giordano. Giordano looks up the middle, trying to find Domi, but it is deflecting and gone high and has found the screen in the Islander zone, so the faceoff will come back out into the center ice area. 13:42 left to play here in the second period. The Islanders with a 1-goal lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking. Hello, I'm James Corden, and I'm so thrilled for you to hear my brand new show, This Life of Mine. Join me every week for incredible conversations and never-before-heard stories from the biggest stars in film, TV, fashion, music, sports, and more. Each week, we'll be talking about the people, the places, the possessions, music, and memories that have made them who they are today. This Life of Mine with me, James Corden. You can listen on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Stars, Channel 109, or listen on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL All-Star Weekend returns to Toronto, and SiriusXM NHL Network Radio brings you all the action.
Pass and a quick shot. Scores! Matthews! Ross for Crosby for the HP. He's good!
Hear conversations with all-star players and coaches. All-Star Media Day, player draft, skills competition, and play-by-play of the 2024 All-Star Game. 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend live. Beginning February 1st on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
On Wednesday night, that's our next action. Hope that you will join us at 7 o'clock.
Dallas are in Buffalo tomorrow night, so they'll catch them in a second of back-to-back.
That doesn't happen very often this year that the Leafs caught a team. Once it was both teams playing the same
that was
situation.
The Detroit game here, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So it didn't have much of a bearing. So the Leafs haven't caught that kind of a break often this season. Benoit, after serving his major penalty, plays it into the corner. Around back of the net it comes. McCabe backhanding for Robertson, who can't get it out. And back around back of the net now. Benoit in the left wing corner. Got it off the boards. That was knocked down by Brock Nelson. Might have been a high stick, but it was close. Kept into the Leaf zone, though. And the pass now comes ahead, and Robertson is out on the right wing. He launches a high flip in, but it is cut off by Mayfield before it reached the net. The Islanders come back at center. And across the line, Engvall ringing the boards. No one there. Leafs tip it back out at center ice. Adam Pelech, Toronto native, plays it to the line. Brought in by Barzal. A shot. Oh, that just went wide on the far side. Back to the point. Long shot deflected. Good save made by the left hand of Samsonov, who is slow to regain his feet. The official is over to see if he's okay and skates away. Now here are the Leafs back into the attack. Into the far corner goes Matthew Nyes. Back to Matthews. To the blue line now for Brody. Back to Nyes. Backhand shot by Riley is swept into the glove of Ilya Sorokin.
Boy, what a sharp play by Morgan Riley. Gets the puck in the face-off dot to the left of Sorokin. But he gets it on his forehand, and his numbers are towards the Islander goaltender. So what does Riley do? Just turns and spins and throws a backhand towards the far post, and Sorokin was able to get his right pad on it.
He had to make a pretty good save to keep that from being a 2-2 tie.
Yeah, and I mean, this almost snuck under.
Yes, it did.
Right pad.
He just did get it down, didn't he? Draw one by Toronto. Riley, shot off the backboards wide. Brody is able to secure it into the slot, and a one-timer there by Marner was blocked, but here the Islanders back in with a long shot that went wide of the goal. Rebound down into the corner, and the Leafs, Riley getting it ahead. Matthews starts out. Matthews with a nifty move to gain the line. Gets in on the left wing. Into the corner it goes for Nyes. Nyes in along the boards there with Pulock. The puck still free. Nyes coming out of the corner with it. Back to the blue line it comes to Matthews. Matthews slides it off into the corner for Liljegren. Liljegren double teamed, now triple teamed over there. Matthews adds support. Puck comes free. Back to the point it comes. Giordano with a wrist shot in traffic. Knocked down. Tavares spinning and shot it wide of the goal. A rebound on the near wing, and the Islanders are going to get it out. Tavares has had some jump tonight.
Yeah, he has, and unfortunate there. He got the puck caught up in his jersey. Knew where it was, turned, fired the shot, but just wide of the left post.
Liljegren sends it into the left wing corner, and Nylander bunts it back of the net. Grabbed off there quickly by Romanov and played into the corner. Not out though. Nylander is able to keep it in. Slides into the corner now, coming in front of the goal! And he slid it wide of the near post. Kept in at the point by Benoit. Now to Nylander. Back to Benoit. Benoit with a sharp angle shot stopped by Sorokin. 15 shots now for Toronto. Islanders trying to work it out, and they'll play it out at center. And brought in now on the wing, but it bounces to the left wing side for Barzal. He stops on a dime, drops it back for Riley. Riley centers, and it was lifted wide of the net there by Bo Horvat. Centering pass comes back to the point, kept in by the blue line of the Islanders. Trapped by Mike Riley. Riley back into the slot. Long shot is swallowed up by Samsonov. He's going to hold on. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. The Islanders lead it by a score of 2-1. Barzal and McLean with the goals. Marner for Toronto.
You and I have been talking about this where Ilya Samsonov looks like he's not quite as anchored. A lot of extra movement. But you hope this is one of those games, Joe, where you can maybe not feel like you're 100%, but find a way to grind through it. Make a couple of big stops. Right now, it looks a little more like Samsonov before the 3-game winning streak.
A bad pass in front of the net. The Islanders get to it. McLean back to the point. Shot is blocked. Volleyball down. That would be a glove pass if it's touched. And the Leafs are just going to sit there.
Yeah,
except. And because of that, the face-off stays in the Toronto zone. That was Giordano trying to outweight his opponent. And as it turns out, they're going to be penalized for it because the face-off will be in the Toronto zone when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Maple Toyota, fun and work go hand in hand, and your success is the name of the game. Just ask the team of players that have been here since the beginning. In fact, you could say Maple Toyota has one of the longest-standing rosters in the league. No surprise. Maple Toyota is an award-winning dealership and offers competitive pay, amazing training, and exciting career opportunities. No one sits on the bench. Everyone scores. Maple Toyota runs on all cylinders. Do you? If you'd like to join the Maple Toyota team, apply today at mapletoyota.com.
This is the sound of medicine. When you stay at a Ronald McDonald House, close to your sick child, family is medicine. And right now, it's helping Ryan battle leukemia. We need your help to keep families together. Please donate today at rmhc.ca.
Salespeople are not likely to consistently implement a particular selling strategy or technique, regardless of how effective it may be, unless it's part.
Hey everybody, Mike from Toronto Sports Insider. Thank you all for getting us over the 7,000 subscriber mark. Let's keep it going. Let's have some fun tonight in the chat. Smash that like button down below. And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on so you can hang out with us every single Leafs game or Toronto sports event. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys soon. Let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph. Owen Hall operating things back at the station. Luca Moya running the operation here. Matthew Cardadero keeping us on the air.
Well, he's trailed by one. It hasn't been anything horrific from a Leaf standpoint, but just unable to really take control of this game.
17-15, the shots favoring New York as they'll punch it back into neutral ice and down into the Leaf zone for TJ Brody. Over to Riley, got it ahead, knocked down into the zone by Nyes. He'll hustle down into the corner after it. Played along the boards. Islanders able to free it up. Nyes' back check turns the puck over, but Marner couldn't get a bouncing puck to behave, and the Islanders get it down into the Leaf end. Riley sidesteps a forecheck, then his pass is deflected into the near corner. Played around the boards to the far side. Nyes trying to chase it down in front of Noah Dobson. Dobson gets it in along the boards. Here the Islanders getting it into the slot, but it's backhanded high and out at center ice. Engvall dropping it back. Romanov got it ahead. Backhand towards the net was deflected by Engvall right in front of goaltender Samsonov, but sent into the corner. Leafs carry back and send it down into the far wing. Gregor sending it around the boards to the near side. Kept in by McCabe. Puck centered now for Robertson, in on goal. And a juicy rebound was there, but Gregor couldn't get his stick on it. And Sorokin is able to cover up.
Well, Nick Robertson, who's put up pretty good numbers and not a lot of ice time, almost has one there. This is game number 30 on the season for Robertson. His last 8 games played, which is sprinkled in with games that he didn't dress, but for him personally in his last 8 games, 4 goals and 5 points. In fact, you'll remember he got an assist in the overtime winner by Austin Matthews, a 1-0 win over the Winnipeg Jets. Robertson made the play to Morgan Riley, went to the bench, didn't get the plus, but got an assist.
Played into the corner, Bertuzzi on the far side, swings it back to the Islander goal. And the Islanders will play it out at center ice. Trying to get away was Anders Lee, but it goes to an open wing. Benoit steps up at the red line and chips it in and then heads to the bench. In along the boards, Bertuzzi. Getting it back for Nylander, but it was knocked away. Then a long shot from the point by Liljegren was deflected wide. Cleared out at center ice, and Lee bringing it in on the left wing with a long shot and a rebound. Big save made by Samsonov. 2 of them. Lee the second one, and Samsonov comes up huge there. Nylander slides through into the zone. Circles. Still with it in the slot. Got a shot away, and it was high and wide. The rebound far side. Gregor trying to make a move. Got it to the far boards. Too well covered by Bo Horvat. And out come the Islanders now at center. Pelech sending it in. Samsonov's best saves.
Oh, easily. A broken play right in front of him and was able to get them both.
Domi down the left wing with speed. Works into the corner, around back of the net. Looks in front, back to the point it comes. A shot taken there is knocked away. A juicy rebound off Sorokin, but no one could get to it. Back of the goal, Robertson. Robertson gets it back into the slot for Riley. That was stopped. Robertson will corral a loose puck to get it down further into the corner, courtesy of Domi. The puck in along the boards for Noah Gregor. Domi getting it back again on the half wall. Back to the point it goes. Brody with a shot, and traffic is deflected just wide of the Islander goal.
Good shift, though, for that third line.
New York gets it to center, flipping it over the line, but the Leafs are able to bank it back out at center. Marner couldn't flip it ahead. He had Matthews breaking. And now the Islanders, Holmstrom back into his own zone and going to the bench. 6:14 to go, second period. Leafs trail in the game 2-1. They trailed 1-0 after the first 20. Riley in his own zone. Got it ahead at center. In on the left wing for Nyes. That was too far. Pollock sends it around on the boards to the near wing, but cut off there by McCabe. His shot was wide of the goal. Benoit curls in, tried to center. That was blocked. Nyes gets it back to him, but it went right through his legs. He tries to get it back to the blue line, but the Islanders have launched it out at center ice. Rink wide off of Matthews' stick. Islanders have to go back. Leafs changing. New York starts out. Mike Riley got it ahead. Pelech shoots it into the Leaf zone. Gobbled up there by Toronto. Fed high to center ice and down into New York territory. There won't be icing. Riley has to go back for it. Chased now by Pontus Holmberg. It comes to the blue line. Played off a stick to the line, but not out. Reeves is able to keep it in. Far side and hustling after it. Pontus Holmberg plays it in back of the net. In go the Leafs, and Reeves with a pretty good hit there on Scott Mayfield. Puck maintained by Toronto. Pontus Holmberg banking it back to the blue line. Got it returned. Holmberg down low. Leafs trying to center in front for Reeves. They bound it in front of the goal, and somehow it stays out.
Boy, it looked like from up here it was going in, didn't it?
Did it ever?
Ryan Reeves knocks it out of midair.
Leafs to center. Tavares in on the left wing. Trying to squeeze by Dobson. Puck goes around back of the net. And the Islanders will get it up on the wing. And Engvall trying to get it out. Fails to do so. It's forced deeper into Islander territory. Tavares battles and can't come up with it. And now here's the crowd getting into it as well as it's played out at center ice. Pajot ringing the boards with it to the far side for Morgan Riley. Riley gets it ahead. Bertuzzi in over the line. Bertuzzi going to the net. Fanned on it. Still has it though. To the point. Riley with a drive. Oh, and that cut down one of the Islanders in front of the net, getting up very slowly. There is Oliver Wahlstrom. He's still hunched over. Puck in the Islander zone. Leafs trying to take advantage here. And Wahlstrom just gets rid of it to center, and he's going to get to the bench after taking a tremendous hit there, and then decides to step into Benoit as the sharp angle shot is swallowed up by Sorokin.
Well, we've had some action here in the second period, haven't we? Teams have split goals. Islanders holding on to the 2-1 lead, but the Leafs have had back-to-back solid shifts, put some pressure on the New York Islander defense.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I just helped Tom with a business loan. He needed to soup up his mechanic shop. Not to brag, but I once modified a car to match my ultra speed. It went so fast, it broke the speed of sound. At least no one was inside. I hope no one was inside. I guess I'll just stick to approving business loans.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Face-off coming in the Islander zone to the right of Ilya Sorokin.
Islanders trying to win their second game in 5 outings with Patrick Waugh behind the bench.
The Maple Leafs trying to end a streak of 2-5-0 in their last 7 home games. They are just 11-9-2 at home. And the draw won by the Maple Leafs, and off a skate, it caroms all the way down into the Toronto end.
What about throwing 1-5 in the playoffs last year on home ice?
Let's not start with everything. Played off
just how bad it is this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Here the Islanders Lee in over the line on the angle, and the shot went wide of the goal. Kept in at the point, though, by Pollock. Down into the corner. Riley got it freed up. Nyes finds Marner at center. Nice play to kick it ahead and then get it down into the zone. Boy, what a little bit of skill that was over the 2 square feet of trying to get a puck to settle down. Sent back down into the Toronto zone. So good with his skates. Bouncing puck comes in front of the goal, and a good save made there by Samsonov, and the Leafs will get it to center, and Tavares trying to outfight his man Mayfield for the puck, does, and gets it back now for McCabe. McCabe got it ahead at center, and Tavares dropping it back. Brody holds. The rest of the Leafs are changing. McCabe with the puck back in his own zone, looks for Nylander and finds him. Nylander starts out to center on the right wing with a pass to Tavares into the slot. Down low, pass in front for Willie. And he couldn't get a stick on it, cutting across. Now he has it again. Trying to work in and stop. The puck comes in front of the goal. Tavares for Nylander. And a sprawling save made by Sorokin. Tavares trying to center, taken to the boards. Nylander with the puck back to the blue line to Liljegren. Liljegren to Nylander once more. Nylander walking the line, stops up, sends it towards the net, it goes off his skate. What a couple of great chances there. organized and orchestrated by William Nylander.
Boy, Sorokin made his best save, though, didn't he?
Did he
Going
ever?
From his left to his right.
Cross the line, the Leafs into the zone again. Fanning on a pass there was Noah Gregor. Brought out now by Pajot. A pass up on the left wing, brings it into the Leafs zone. Flipped into the zone by Clutterbuck. The Welland native in on the forecheck as it comes back to the blue line. Kept in at the point, far side with a long shot. Samsonov looked behind him, but it's underneath him somewhere. And he's going to hold it for a face-off coming in the Toronto zone with 1:06 to go here in the period.
We've seen that hesitation from Samsonov, though, aren't we? That wrist shot lobbed towards the net. And I mean, did make big left pad save a little earlier in the period to keep this a 2-1 game.
I think it was Noah Gregor who actually got that last real good chance that Sorokin had to make his best save on. And it's flipped to center ice, and the Islanders settling it down there. Less than a minute to go in the frame. McCabe sidesteps a man to get it to Domi, who finds Benoit. Simon Benoit off of Gregor and down into the offensive zone. Leafs are changing. Islanders start out. Pajot to center. He'll flip it round back of the net. Goes Riley to drop it back. And it is TJ Brody giving it back to him with 27 seconds left in the period. Now Riley gets into a traffic jam, and the Islanders have 2-1 down low. And a wrist shot goes wide of the goal. The rebound. Barzal can't come up with it. Matthews with 15 seconds comes to center. Works in over the line. Tavares is with him. Pass into the slot. Knocked down by Barzal. And the Leafs are not going to be able to keep it in. Final 4 seconds. Shot in over the Leaf blue line. And that will do it. Both teams getting glorious chances late in the period. But the goal from McLean coming out of the penalty box after Mitch Marner had tied the game 50 seconds into the period, and the Islanders have a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I mean, what a quick turn of events where the Leafs score 4-on-4. They go on the power play right after that. There was only 5 seconds left in 4-on-4 when Marner scored. Leafs go to the power play. They score. Maybe they take control of this game instead. As you mentioned, McLean out of the box scoring on the breakaway to make it 2-1. So technically, specialty teams 4-on-4. Specialty teams guy coming out of the penalty box. It'll show up as a 5-on-5 goal, but certainly a big moment in this game so far.
12-8, the Leafs outshoot the Islanders, but trail 2-1 after 40 minutes. Frankie Corrado to join Jim Taddy. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
No one is getting you closer to the Super Bowl from a fantasy sports perspective than Fantasy Sports Radio. Jeff Ratcliffe is live from Radio Row in Las Vegas all this week at noon Eastern, talking to the biggest fantasy football legends and helping you set a winning daily fantasy football lineup for the big game.
Touchdown! Kansas City, San Francisco!
Your home for fantasy sports is Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning.
Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is completely, it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, well, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
You think, can you pay the guy? I think what we've learned the last 4 years is that you can't. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas, they were all built on elite superstar talent. But what they also had was great management. And that's the one thing the Leafs haven't done. They've never done. Dubas never did it. I think we could all argue Treliving's not off to a great start trying to do it this year. It becomes a huge challenge.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
NHL All-Star Weekend returns to Toronto, and SiriusXM NHL Network Radio brings you all the action.
Pass and a quick shot. Scores! Matthews!
Lost for Crosby for the HP. He's good.
Hear conversations with all-star players and coaches. All-Star Media Day, player draft, skills competition, and play-by-play of the 2024 All-Star Game. 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend live. Beginning February 1st on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the number one league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No, what we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kerr, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Canadian Leafs hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
The Leafs, for 12 seconds, will play 4-on-4 and then go to their first power play of the game.
Played back into the slot now for Marner. Shooting star! Mitch Marner ties the game. Great play by Morgan Riley, but it sets it up, and Marner snaps it home. And 4-on-4, it is a 1-1 tie.
And now it's 2-1 for the Islanders over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. TSN after 40, delivered by 241 Pizza. Get a free medium one-topping pizza with $25 minimum purchase before tax and delivery. Online orders only. Visit 241pizza.com. Use the code FREEM for free medium. Yes, Guy, Jim Taddy and Frankie Corrado with you. 2-1 for the Islanders over the Leafs, as I say, after 40 minutes of play. And I like the Marner goal because it's a play right off the face-off and right in the net.
It's a set play, and it's well executed, and Marner scores the goal. He catches Sorokin cheating off his post. He goes high glove, but then it's what happens afterwards where the Leafs are on the power play, a power play where they don't execute very well. There's a few giveaways on that power play. And it looks like one of those things where, okay, these guys have been off a little while. It was the All-Star break. They're not sharp. They're not moving the puck the way they normally can on that power play. And then it leads to a goal where Kyle McLean gets his first NHL goal coming out of the penalty box, and a really nice move that he puts on Ilya Samsonov. And, it's hard to fault Samsonov for that. But I don't know how you felt. Thought Samsonov made some saves in that period and kind of answered some questions as far as what did his first period look like, how is he going to respond in the second, and he made some saves there that really helped the team kind of stay in the game.
He did. There was one save he made where I thought he may have injured hamstring, groin, or something on the left side, but he was okay after that.
It looked like, you remember last year Samsonov was really slow to get up. It felt like it was like the last half, not half of the year, maybe like month to month and a half leading into the playoffs, he would go down and he would be slow getting up, and we really saw it in that Florida series. That's kind of what it reminded me of, but didn't go talk to the trainer during the TV timeout, so it looks like everything's okay. And as much as it was a first period where he was swimming a little bit, he found his footing in that second period, and now the Leafs have an opportunity here, down one goal going into the third period, to try and win this game and take over. But this is kind of what a game against the Islanders is. They're not exceptionally strong defensively the way they used to be, but they're boring. Like they can just kind of bore you with the way they play, and that's what I felt like the Leafs got involved in that second period. Just a boring kind of game.
They do slow it down. It does come across as boring, but what's hidden in the agenda there is the great goaltending they get.
And you know what? For Sorokin, nothing looks like it's too difficult for him. It never really looks like he's having to make a desperation save. It never really looks like he's out of his depth or out of his net. It seems like the Leafs will get a really good opportunity, and it'll just hit Sorokin in the chest, or it'll just be in his glove.
He's square to it.
He's square to it. He's at the right depth. It never looks like he's panicked in the net. And you contrast that with Samsonov, who, listen, had a good second period, but they just look different. The style they have in the net looks very different, where Samsonov looks like he's really having to work to make the saves. And for Sorokin, it just looks like it happens so naturally, and that's the backbone of this team for the Islanders. If they don't have him, they're a much worse team because they have a hard time scoring goals, and they give up a lot of quality chances. With that being said, there are going to be chances to be had for the Leafs as long as they keep applying pressure on the forecheck, forcing those D into turnovers, keep attacking off the rush, see if you can generate something that way. You have to keep doing those things because as much as you want to wear the team down, you have to wear down that goaltender in net at the other end.
So 2 goals in that period. They all happened in the first 3 minutes, and it's started by a Benoit hit on Barzal.
And listen, it was a good hit.
Yes, it was.
It was a clean hit, and Bo Horvat took exception to it. And it was interesting because when you look at the game sheet, Horvat got 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. He didn't get the 2, 5, and 10 kind of treatment.
Instigator.
Yeah, he didn't get the instigator. So it was weird how the officials kind of made that call. But Horvat, the Islanders are a better team with Horvat on the ice, and he gets to go on the ice and kind of be a part of things. And it was really the difference right now is Sorokin's been a really good goaltender like he usually is for the Islanders, and a sloppy Leafs power play leads to a gift of a goal where Kyle McLean, whose dad is the assistant coach for the Islanders, John McLean, he comes out of the box, he scores his first NHL goal in only his 6th NHL game, and a former Oshawa General, his goal is the difference right now.
So you talked about in the first intermission the matchup. What did you see that way in the second period?
Well, Sheldon Keefe is definitely a little more in tune with making sure that third line with Domi, Robertson, and Gregor is not on the ice when the Barzal, Horvat, Anders Lee line is on the ice. And there was one instance where you could kind of see the Barzal line was on the ice. They were probably 30, 40 seconds into their shift, and Sheldon Keefe felt like he was okay with putting the third line on the ice because those guys are going for a change anyways.
Right.
But, being a little more conscious about making sure his matchups are a little more on the safe side. But with that being said, the third line later in that period had a really good sequence where Domi won a couple battles down low. They got the puck to the point. They reloaded. They shot. They won another battle, and they spent 20, 30 seconds in the offensive zone. That's the recipe for a line like that because that's where all those guys make their living. That's where they're a little more comfortable. And Nick Robertson, he had a really good opportunity in the high slot area where Sorokin was screened. He actually should have shot the puck right away. He stick-handled it, one extra stick handle, and that allowed Sorokin to be able to spot the puck, and he ended up making one of those saves where it kind of just goes right in his breadbasket.
Islanders lead at 2-1 over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Final call for the Air France Rendezvous. Until February the 6th, enjoy fares at the very best prices during the Air France Rendezvous and benefit from our 90 years of experience of in-flight fine dining, design, and comfort. Our very best 90th anniversary fares have just landed. Book your flight to Malaga starting at $870 return from Toronto, tax included. Elegance is a journey. Air France. Travel from January 24th to June 22nd or from September 18th to October 31st, 2024. See conditions at airfrance.ca.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Trillium Health Partners, we're ready to see you, not just as a patient, but as a person who needs innovative care with a human touch, a person with a life, with hopes, and with fears. At Trillium Health Partners, we'll see the whole you, our nurses, our doctors, and our staff. Because when we care for the whole person, our whole community gets stronger. Trillium Health Partners, we see you. Learn more at weseeyou.ca.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Don't brave the winter weather. Stay in and enjoy the Voila magic with our Delivery Pass trial. No commitment and a month of unlimited free deliveries. Just like that. Voila! We deliver Sobeys, Longos, Farm Boy, and more. See terms and conditions at voila.ca.
Excuse me, miss. If I say Contrave, 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 do you know what it is?
Of course I do. And I know how to get my tablets at no cost.
Oh, you know that.
Ask your doctor about Contrave and learn how to receive Contrave tablets at no cost.
Nobody goes on vacation for the moments that are just okay. That's why Sunwing vacationers go all in like it's a buffet of fun. Whether you're skimming the treetops like Tarzan's long-lost twin, or deep-end swimming with your flippers and fins. Or maybe you're just perfecting the art of doing absolutely nothing. Whatever vacationer you are, with Sunwing, you save more so you can do more. Book with your local travel agent or...
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard brought to you by Maple Toyota. Build your next dream Toyota at Maple Toyota. Check out Maple Toyota's pre-owned inventory arriving daily. Guy, I think it's time to Toyota. Visit mapletoyota.com. One of the game, it's at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Colorado was a 1-0 lead over the Rangers after 40 minutes of play. The goal in the first period by McKinnon, his 32nd. In our game, 2-1 for the Islanders over the Leafs after 40 minutes of play. I know what you're thinking. Guy, is the third period next? You are correct, sir. Coming up next, period number 3 on Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Increase your focus and reduce your stress with SiriusXM channels dedicated to laid-back, lo-fi sounds. Ease through the day with Lo-Fi Cafe. Find calm and increase concentration with Lo-Fi Study. Or relax and rest with Lo-Fi Sleep. All available now on the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search Lo-Fi.
Under review.
The National Hockey League, it's the #1 league in the world. It's a tough league. It's not shinny. I never wanted to become a league where the stars get an extra step or two. And there is a real divide with some people who go, the NHL doesn't do enough for its stars. No. What we like about hockey is it's a team game.
Under review with Mick Kerr, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the SiriusXM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
Leafs down 2-1 to the New York Islanders. A familiar spot for the Island, who are in their 28 one-goal games this year. They're 13-3-12 in one-goal hockey games. And when you play the Islanders, you know it's going to be a physical night. They've had 31 hits, the Leafs 16. The most memorable hit, though, was the one dished out by Simon Benoit. But nevertheless, one of the reasons a forward like Cal Clutterbuck is still in this league, got 4 tonight, and he is perennially among the leaders in hits.
I want to ask you about the penalty that Bo Horvat took.
All right.
Unsportsmanlike.
Yep.
Now, we all know it's the same thing. It's the official decides, right, whether I'm going to give him an unsportsmanlike, a roughing penalty, or an instigator. And the instigator is the most severe one, and yet we know it's exactly an instigating penalty because it's to go after Benoit after the hit.
So what was unsportsmanlike about it? And what is unsportsmanlike about every instigator?
What was unsportsmanlike was he instigated a fight.
Well, that's unsportsmanlike.
Yeah,
so obviously the call was correct.
It's like having a real good accountant, right? You know what, we might be able to.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, we should be able to get this down to.
I'm pretty sure this will slide by Revenue Canada.
Yeah.
Let's just call it incidentals.
Yes.
It's all in the terminology, Mr. Ralph. The English language is a wonderful structure.
Anyway, power plays 2-1. The Leafs had the only power play the second period.
And we're set to go. Face off at center ice. Leafs to the right. The puck is dropped. And the Islanders, Dobson steps up at center and sends it down into the Leaf end. Dobson is closing in on being one of the highest scoring defensemen that the Islanders have had in a season.
Since Denny Potvin,
Denny Potvin. Over on the left wing side, Romanov sends it back to Dobson. His shot in traffic. Oh, he didn't miss by much there. Hit from behind and knocked down was the Islander player. That could have been a penalty easily, as it's cleared ahead at center, and Nylander able to get in over the line. Bulling his way into the corner, stops up, still has it. Run there by Dobson, and it comes back now. Nice! Centers in front! Oh, they score! Or do they? No, they're waving it off. Everybody behind the net thought it was in. What do you think?
Oh, I think it was post crossbar out.
All right. Here's Matthews in on the right side. Stopping up is Marner. Marner holds. We'll have, if we hear a horn, we'll know it's different. The shot goes high and wide. The rebound coming back to Marner. Marner off on the wing. Matthews couldn't handle it. Pass at center. Oh, Marner could have taken Bo Horvath right to task there with an open ice hit, but didn't. Now it's played down into the Toronto zone. Lee punches it around on the far side for Palmieri. There's no horn, so I think you're right, Mr. Ralph. I thought it was in. At the point, Mayfield with a shot blocked. Noah Krager skates it out at center with speed. One-handed around back of the net to the far side. A shot off a leg, and it goes harmlessly wide. Islanders get it out at center and play it down into the Leaf end. And that is a delayed offside, apparently. And a face-off will come back into neutral ice.
Well, we get this stat in. Early here, the New York Islanders, when leading after two periods, 15-1-5. So 15 of the 21, they've been able to hold on to the wins. The Leafs look trailing after two are, where we got it here, 4-10-3. So 7 out of 17 times the Leafs have been able to come back and get a point.
Couple of good looks at it. Two posts.
Yep. Post didn't go. I think it went up off the crossbar and out the other way.
Now we had a stat about Matthews hitting, I think it was 13 posts. Here's a shot that Sorokin gets a blocker in front of. If you hit it twice on the same shot.
I'll be honest. I know we can joke around about it. I don't know. I don't know if it counts as two or not.
I don't either. Played down in on the left wing. Nylander goes around back of the net. Can't come up with it. Tavares does centering. That's the kind of season that Todd Bertuzzi has had. He's in the slot. He's got a chance to shoot the puck, and it never materializes. And that's back down into the Toronto end. Not going to lie, probably think that he thought, you know what, we got to change something up here. I'm cutting the hair. Try anything, right? Well, maybe it'll work. Holmstrom to the line and in on the left wing. The linesman says that's offside. And we are a second shy of playing 3 minutes in the third period. The Leafs trail 2-1.
You mentioned third and final meeting between these two clubs this season. The other two games for the Islanders for the home team ended in 4-3 overtime wins. One against Martin Jones and one against Ilya Samsonov.
Holmberg waved out. McMahon moves in. Face-off just outside the Islander blue line, won by Toronto. D-to-D pass, and Liljegren wires it into the zone. Reeves coming away with it, got it back to the... Got a shot away, but it went off down and is slow to get up as he's heading to the Leaf bench. Leafs play it out at center, but out of the reach there of Bobby McMahon. And the Islanders are back in their own zone, and the rest of the line goes to the bench as well.
Reeves collided with Mayfield right in front of the Islander goal.
Lee getting it in on the right wing, sends it down into the corner. Played up on the wing, but out and just squirted out against Pollock. Now the Leafs turn it over and get it to up. Engaged there, the puck into the corner. Nyes had support here for the Maple Leafs. They bang around on the wall for it. It does come free as it goes back of the net. Matthews trying to the line. The Leafs are able to keep it in just barely, and now it squirts out at center. Horvat in on the left wing. Looks for a pass into the slot for Anders Lee, and he fired it high and wide. Dobson keeps it in at the near point and sends it around back of the net. Marner will come up with it to Matthews. His pass at center, and the Dobson stick comes up and clips McCabe, but no call. Now a wraparound attempt in front of the net by Barzal went wide. Puck along the boards, pushed to the line, and not out. Now chopped at by the Leafs, still not out. Now forced out by McCabe, who just barreled over a couple of Islanders to get it into neutral ice. Now Bertuzzi in on the left wing. Tried to flip it in for Tavares. Tavares swatted at it, bounced over his stick, works the boards with it now. Back to Bertuzzi. Round the boards it's going to go, but well out of the reach of defenseman Brody, who has to scamper back into his own end. Played up on the left wing, and now Tavares got it for Nylander. His pass was blocked. Engvall shoots it back into the Toronto zone. 2-1 Islanders here in the third. Got it in on the left wing. Trying to work down into the corner. Nylander comes out of the corner with it, but it squirts off his stick, and it's back at center ice for Wallstrom, who gets down into the Leaf end, only to have Giordano knock it away from him. Back up on the near side. Bertuzzi gets it ahead for Domi with speed. Domi working in, cuts to the net with a backhand, and that was stopped the rebound. Corralled and sent by Wallstrom out at center ice. Great burst of speed from Domi. Robertson got back in, but the Islanders get it out. Down into the corner. Benoit takes his man to the boards. Got it around back of the net for Liljegren. Benoit had it not. It's going to be pushed out at center ice now by Toronto. 13:45 to go in the third. Islanders 2, the Leafs 1. Ryan Pollock to his defense partner in return, then fed ahead. In on the right side, trying to drive was Lee, and the backhand pass in front of the net for Horvat was deflected over the Leaf goal. Back of the net for Benoit. Pass quickly ahead for Holmberg. Fourth line for Toronto. Holmberg has his pocket picked by Horvat. Back in over the line, Barzal. Barzal trying to work it back in with a pass in front. Lee stopped by Samsonov. Cutting across. Ilya Samsonov makes a huge save to keep it at 2-1.
Did take that little glance over his right shoulder, but was able to get down quickly enough and take the shot away 5-hole on Lee to keep this a 2-1 game.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
SiriusXM NFL Radio's coverage continues before Super Bowl 58. Hear an all-access pass from Las Vegas as we talk with Hall of Famers, Super Bowl legends, and the stars of the NFL.
That's exactly where you want to be, right? Preparing for the Super Bowl.
Our panel of experts will get you ready for Super Bowl 58 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. All week on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
You think, can you pay the guy? I think what we've done in the last 4 years is that you can. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas. They were all built on elite superstar talent. But what they also had was great management. And that's the one thing the Leafs haven't done. They've never done. Dubas never did it. I think we could all argue Treliving's not off to a great start trying to do it this year. Becomes a huge challenge.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Face off to the left in the Toronto zone. Islanders lead it 2-1.
Best opportunity for the Leafs here in the third period. Austin Matthews beats Sorokin off the post, but then bounces up off the crossbar and out.
Matthews starting away. Riley takes his pass and gets it ahead. Marner trying to return the favor as it goes down around back of the net. Poked a little further by Morgan Riley. Comes to the point. Riley has to work to the far side. Backhands it to the side of the goal. Back of the net, Matthews spinning, still with it. Works to the left wing side, tried to center, but it hit the skate of Mike Riley. And now the Leafs come away with it again. Marner to the point, just kept in at the blue line. Down into the corner for Matthews. Stops up, still with it to Marner. Marner holds back for Matthews in front, can't get a shot. Has it again though, it's on a string. Matthews back of the goal with it, trying to center. Does, and it went right by Marner. And now Engvall will skate to center ice on a Lone Ranger rush, just sending it into the side of the Leaf goal. Boy, he is something. We are so fortunate to have him and watch him handle the puck and obviously score. But Austin Matthews is an absolute treasure and is going to be the highest scoring Leaf ever. Backhand by the Leafs. Nylander goes high and wide of the goal. Chipped into the corner and around back of the net. Pollock gets it ahead. Giordano had his stick snap in half. Leafs are able to come away with it. Tavares sending it in, but it's a delayed offside. And the Islanders have it now as the Leafs have to tag up, and they're changing as they do. 11:27 to go. Scoreless third period, but a 2-1 Islander lead. Down into the corner is Benoit to take his man out. Puck comes up on the left wing, and Noah Gregor is away. Gregor sending it in over the line and down into the corner. Puck along the boards. Domi able to back up his defenseman to keep it alive. Works it back to the point. McCabe for Robertson. Shot from an angle, swallowed up by Sorokin. And he's going to hold for a face-off in the Islander zone. 10 minutes and 59 seconds to play in the third period. The Leafs in another one-goal hockey game. And the Islanders doing likewise something that they're rather accustomed to. But they've lost 12 of these in overtime, which is...
And beating the Leafs both times in overtime.
Yep.
The great pinch by Simon Benoit, and then Max Domi backed the pinch up, and the Leafs were able to keep it in.
Played down into the corner. Islanders bank it past Riley, and it goes down into the Leaf end, and Brody goes back. Rung around the boards to the far side, and Marner traps. Rink wide for Morgan Riley. Riley chips it into the zone as he was held up. Sorokin out of the goal to play it to his defenseman. And Barzal gives the puck away. Centering pass! And Matthews got it away in a hurry, but the right leg of Sorokin beat him. Here's Barzal back in. Amends for that pass, but he is intercepted by Nyes, and Nyes gets it ahead, and Matthews, who's hit 2 goal posts on 1 shot and was robbed there. Now McCabe works it deep into the Islander zone, only to be taken off the puck. They send it back into the Islander zone. What a great save that was. A pass in front, almost stolen again. Here's Reeves in the corner. Knocked it back, one-handed into the corner then by McMahon. Reeves takes a good, healthy run at Mike Riley. Puck along the boards then for Benoit to send into the corner. Back of the net, Reeves after it again. In goes Giordano to send it back of the net. Good shift by the fourth line to keep the Islanders at bay, but now it's grabbed off, and Palmieri gives it away again. Here's Benoit winding and shooting and snapping his stick in half, and it's cleared high to center ice. It'll be a glove pass, and it'll be blown dead, and it's a good idea because Benoit was without equipment, and so a face-off will come in the Toronto zone.
Boy, for Benoit, if he would have just let it go, Giordano would have been back to pick it up without the penalty, but instead, penalty being a face-off in your own zone to the right of Samsonov.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru.
Hey everybody, Mike from Toronto Sports Insider. Thank you all for getting us over the 7,000 subscriber mark. Let's keep it going. Let's have some fun tonight in the chat. Smash that like button down below. And hey, if you're new here, so you can hang out with us every single Leafs game or Toronto sports event. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys soon. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Let's get jerseys. Let's get jerseys.
Right now, become a Tangerine client with a savings account, and you could get a free Raptors jersey.
We want jerseys.
Finally, a savings account worth cheering for.
Jerseys! Jerseys!
Find out how to score a jersey at tangerine.ca/Raptors. Tangerine. That's forward banking. Available to new clients who open and fund an eligible account while supplies last. Conditions apply.
Shots on goal are 24 apiece, but the Islanders have got two of them in behind Ilya Samsonov, while Ilya Sorokin has just one in behind him. Fourth line with a real good shift last time out there.
Yeah, they've got a couple in this game, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Been physical, handled the puck reasonably well.
Tavares is able to win the draw. Benoit fed ahead then by Bertuzzi, shot down into the zone. Bertuzzi gets there first, got it around back of the net. Played into the far corner, but McCabe is pinched now, has it up against the wall, kicks it back to the point, long shot, off a skate, and taken to safety there by Mike Riley with Tavares in good position there, had it gotten by Riley. Sent down into the Toronto zone. Holmstrom up against the boards. Got it back of the net, Tavares trying to get a stick on it. Position one there by the Islanders. The centering pass knocked away. The rebound in front of the goal. And it's cleared into the corner, and the Leafs are going to get it airmailed out at center. Nylander trying to break but couldn't get around his man, and then a whistle.
And the puck may have gone into the bench.
Yep, might have been.
8:35 to go here, and the Leafs continue to trail 2-1. Boy, the Islanders have come close in a couple of opportunities as well. Isn't it funny, though, when Ilya Samsonov team scores 5 goals for you, you lose 6-5 to Columbus twice. You're losing 6-5, 6-4, the team's scoring for you, but you can't keep the puck out. Now, get on a bit of a roll. Scored 2 in Seattle, plus an empty netter. Scored 1 here in overtime. Another one, and then 4 in Winnipeg, but the fourth one there was an empty netter. So you can't win.
No,
right?
yeah. I'm playing real well, and you're not scoring. I'm not playing very well, but you're scoring a lot. So,
well, I mean, the bottom line is when you can dice numbers any way you want. But here's the positive. 14 of the 17 games that he has had a decision in, he's been able to get a point. 8-3-6.
Yep.
Imagine if you turn those 6 overtime losses into wins. It could be roughly the same numbers, goals against and save percentage, slightly better. But he could be 14-3.
Played down into the Islander zone, but an icing call coming here, and it'll be brought back. Austin Matthews, the fastest Leaf ever to score 40 goals in a season, did it in 46 games. Played all but one of the Leafs' first 47. Frank Mahovlich made it to 40 goals, but he did it in 48 games in the 60-61 season. The problem with that was that the Big M had his issues from 40 on, never got to the 50 mark. Finished at 48. Played down off the official into the Leaf zone. Speaking of Frank Mahovlich, he is recuperating from some surgery. Our best to him. The Leafs in over the line with Nyes. Nyes works back to the point. Has to go after a loose puck himself. Works back to the right wing side on his backhand. Tried to get it to the forehand to drive the net, but he was knocked down trying to do it. But Nylander has gotten it now to Matthews. Matthews against the boards. Around the wall it's coming, and now Giordano thinks about pinching but won't get to it. The Islanders have sent it down into the Leaf zone. A long up looking for Nylander doesn't work. Around back of the net for Scott Mayfield. Islanders get it out. They lead 2-1. 7:13 to go in the third. No scoring here in the final stanza thus far. Leafs need one to get even. Volleyballed ahead. That would be a hand pass, but the Leafs come away with it. And at center ice, it's shot into the into the Islander zone. Against the boards to the blue line. Benoit can't keep it in, but McCabe has it under control back in his own end. Jake McCabe turning. Has an outlet, decides to hang on to it, now finds Nylander. Nylander through center, works to the line and in with a nifty little move, got it into the slot area, now around into the corner, centering pass, comes all the way back to the point. Benoit chipping it back for him along the boards, but it doesn't connect. The Islanders have it again with Mayfield, getting it along the wall to the far side, but unable to get it out is Palmieri on the first time, but he does the second. Bank pass to the line. Noah Gregor gets it in a little deeper for Robertson. Robertson back of the net, comes out of the corner. A centering pass. He had Domi there, but it was intercepted. Played back into the corner then by Brody. Back into the slot now and a shot. Sorokin down on the angle is able to come away with it off his feed in front of the goal for Gregor. And now Domi into a little bit of a face wash episode with Palmieri.
Like that, Domi took the first one, gave it right back. We have not had a penalty since the scrap between Benoit and Bo Period. Before that, Ryan Reeves and Tyler Bertuzzi were both penalized. And Islanders are one of the teams in the NHL that have had the fewest power plays. The Leafs aren't too far away from them. Maybe we should have expected.
Yep.
A lot of 5-on-5.
But you know what? When you think about a team that is aggressive and hits as much as the Islanders, you would think that they would take a lot of penalties.
Well, we've seen tonight that's not the case, right?
Yep. Played out at center and down in over the line for the Islanders. Breaking in Holmstrom. Drops it back. A sharp angle shot went off of goaltender Samsonov and went wide. Islanders keeping it in, but it goes off a stick, and Marner quickly gets it ahead, and he was trying to find Brody, and then a collision in center ice.
Who's got it?
Holmstrom got tangled up there with one of the Islanders. Now both penalty box doors are open because we're going to a commercial break, but it's the Islander player heading to the penalty box. Leafs to the power play when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sparks fly across Sirius XM this Valentine's Day with music guaranteed to get you in your feels. Crush on the biggest love songs from the 90s to now on Hits 1's Flirty 30, hosted by pop star Tate McRae. Or relive your roller rink days with Kelly Clarkson's Couple Skate Mix. Fall for these and more Valentine specials all week across SiriusXM and the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL All-Star Weekend returns to Toronto, and SiriusXM NHL Network Radio brings you all the action.
Pass and a quick shot. Scores! Matthews! Lost for Crosby for the HP. He's good!
Hear conversations with all-star players and coaches. All-Star Media Day, player draft, skills competition, and play-by-play of the 2024 All-Star Game. 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend live. Beginning February 1st on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. No coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound. Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Second power play of the game brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Get more value out of every kilometer in a Subaru, starting with award-winning safety at your local Subaru dealer. Leafs are 3 of 17 in their last 3 games. 0 for 1 tonight. Tavares leaning in. The draw scrummed. It comes back to the blue line, and Riley will walk the line. Fed it off on the right wing side. Matthews down into the corner. Lost it. Riley's able to keep it in with a good play. Now to Tavares. Tavares tried to make a pass. Gets it off into the corner for Matthews. Matthews quickly back to Riley. Near side to Willie. In front for Tavares, and he took a quick shot that was deflected wide. Tavares with it again. Trying to come out of the corner with it in front with the backhand. And it went wide as Marner was right there but couldn't deliver it to the net. Riley dropping it back for Marner. Marner to Matthews. Left wing side to the line and in for Tavares. Back in for Matthews, but it got away from him and then slides in on Sorokin, who covers up as Clutterbuck took Matthews to the boards.
1:15 to go in this Leaf power play. Right now, if you had to go off the top of your head, the most important power play timely goal game in Anaheim. Remember John Tavares scoring 1-0 game late in the third period.
Yep.
Tavares scored on the power play, and the Leafs would go on to win it in overtime.
Minute 15 to go. Tavares wins the draw cleanly. Riley at the point to Nylander. Back to Riley, far side shot. Coming, scores! It was a deflection in front. It may be John Tavares who went to the front of the net, and the shot about waist high goes off the Leaf captain and in. And this game is tied.
Talked about the Anaheim game. Very similar, Joe, where Tavares is positioned right in front of the goaltender. And this is just flip it to the net. You had traffic in front. You had Austin Matthews there as well. So if Tavares didn't get a piece of it, there was a chance Matthews might have redirected it out of midair. But I believe it was Morgan Riley, was it not, with a wrist shot from the right point. Deflected about the hash marks in front of Sorokin, and the Leafs have tied it up late here in the third period.
14th goal for the captain, his 6th on the power play. Long shot, and Sorokin is able to see that, as Nyes couldn't get in front of him quickly enough to take his eyes away from him. Morgan Riley will draw 1 assist. We'll wait for the official announcement.
And Morgan Riley really has been lights out for the Leafs this year.
34th assist, his 41st point.
It's also his 25th point in the last 26 games.
Tavares with a 2-point night. And the game tied. Benoit with a long shot. Big rebound in front. Knocked out at center ice. Benoit trying to get back. And he'll get some help from his defense partner. And McCabe gives it back to him, who gets it ahead for Marner. Marner to the line, just flipping it in. Nye's in pursuit. The Leafs are changing. 4:15 to play, third period. Are we going to a third straight overtime game against the Islanders? Pad save made by Samsonov. Puck back at the point. Dobson gets it around back of the net. The Leafs into the corner, and it is played by Giordano off the boards high to center. Nylander backhanding it over the line, trying to find Tavares, and it is cut off there by Mike Riley. Riley gets it ahead. Islanders coming through center. A pass down into the left wing corner. 3 Leafs in there to pry it free. And around back of the net goes Liljegren. Liljegren gives the puck away, though, in a centering pass. And a shot is blocked by a sprawling Tyler Bertuzzi. Out of the corner come the Islanders with a backhand that is blocked. Back to the point, long shot. That's blocked. And down is Samsonov to hang on.
Boy, these are the things that the Leafs really in the second half of this season have to cut down on. The unforced error is as Liljegren tries to go behind the net. It's picked off, and then the mad scramble before eventually Ilya Samsonov takes the point shot up high and is able to hold on.
Willie Nylander gets the additional assist on the tying goal. And 3 minutes and 24 seconds left in regulation time with a face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the right. Matthews scrum the draw, but it's controlled by the Islanders. Back to the point. Near side for Pulock. Send it to the side of the Leaf goal. Benoit knocked it back at the net, but the Islanders are onto it quickly. Playing it back and into the corner again. Benoit corrals in there against Pajot. Gets it up on the wing, and Noah Gregor gets it the rest of the way out at center ice. Pulock. A pass at center, intercepted, but carried on and over the line. Turned around now, and Matthews gets it ahead for Domi. Domi, a little stutter step to gain the zone. A centering pass then by Gregor went wide as Matthews was sifting around in front of the net. The official takes one in the corner, and he's slow to get up as the Leafs try to keep the puck in. They do, and the official would love a whistle here. Of course, he's got it in his hand. If he really wants it that badly, he can blow it dead any time, but it looks like he's going to...
Yeah, it was lower body anyway.
Oh, you are so kind.
Day to day.
Day to day. Minute to minute, hour to hour. Well, they take a lot of abuse, but here's a pass in on the wing, and a one-timer was fanned on there by Palmieri. Centering pass, big rebound, they score!
Joe, this time, unfortunately, we were singing the praises of Morgan Riley. This time it's Morgan Riley that turns the puck over, and the Islanders capitalize and take their third one-goal lead of the game. And it's Pierre Engvall who slides a rebound between the pads of Ilya Samsonov. But man, they got away with the Liljegren giveaway, and Morgan Riley couldn't get it up the left wing boards. It's turned over. Leafs never touched the puck again.
6th of the season for Engvall in his first game back in Toronto since the trade last February. And the Islanders are once more out in front, and the Leafs will be looking to get Samsonov to the bench.
First point in 8 games for Pierre Engvall.
Played down into the Toronto zone. A pass goes off a stick centering. It comes back to Nylander, and Nylander circles in his own zone. Samsonov looking at the bench and edging that way. Played in on the left wing. He's still out there. Shot then by Tavares was blocked. There goes the goaltender for extra attacker in front of the net. Tavares was hauled down in front of the goal, but it went wide and comes down into the Toronto zone. Bertuzzi dropping it back. Brought on by Marner. 6 attackers for the Maple Leafs. This goes to Matthews to Tavares. Left wing side. Took a shot, and it's gone off a stick and up into the screen. Out of play, and a face-off in the circle to the right of Ilya Sorokin. And whether Sheldon Keefe thinks this is the time for the timeout or not, it does not appear to be.
Yeah, I think with the 120, you're hoping If you don't get one here, you can call a timeout. Keep the same group. Wow.
Never mind.
You not think it's a little?
I was thinking that maybe another stoppage of play, but you may not get another stoppage of play, right?
Well, the only downside is are you going to keep? If the score stays a 1-goal deficit, you're not going to be able to keep this 6 on the ice for a minute 20.
Oh, I think you're going to have to.
I think 40 seconds and you're off again, or 50. You might get a minute, but near the end, I think you're going to see another group come out.
Well, we'll wait and see.
Teams have been pretty good in the face-off dots so far. Well, it's actually a little closer now, 52%.
Tavares will be entrusted with the face-off.
Tavares has won just 7 of 16 on the night.
Well, on the last power play opportunity, he had 2 in a row anyway that he won. We'll see what happens here. It's in the circle to the right of Ilya Sorokin. Islanders 3, the Leafs 2. And the draw scrum, but it goes into the corner. Matthews after it. That's drawn a crowd in there. Try to kick it free. Even Riley is down deep. It comes to Tavares, who comes to the front of the net. They jam away at a loose puck. Riley is able to come away, but to the point of shot. And Sorokin was able to restore his balance and get back up and make a pretty good save on Willie Nylander.
Well, it's a bad luck from the Leafs standpoint. John Tavares took it from just to the right of Sorokin, tried to drive it towards the net. Leafs couldn't find somebody to pick up the loose puck. And Nylander with a blast from the point, but not enough traffic in front.
Nelson and Palmieri assisted on Engvall's goal. Islanders win the draw again. They don't get the puck out, though. Here's Tavares. Centering pass! And Matthews took a swipe at it and bounced it wide of the net. Tavares in the corner. Back to the blue line to Riley. Quickly over for Nylander. Shot coming! Down is Sorokin with a rebound in front of the goal. The Leafs don't come away with it cleanly, but get it back to the point. Nylander once more. Near side. Marner centering! Shot there by Bertuzzi was stopped. To the point it comes to Nylander again. Far side down into the corner off Marner. Poke back for Nylander. Nylander to Marner once more into the corner to Matthews. Matthews still with it, trying to center. That's blocked. It's still free in front of the goal. Off a stick to Marner. Back to the point to Nylander. Now to Matthews. Holding a shot off a skate. Big crowd in front. 13 seconds. Here's Nylander into the corner. Centers. It goes off a stick. Marner to Matthews to Riley, and that was stopped by Sorokin. 4 seconds left in the Islanders. A fight breaks out in the corner. Mayfield has got one of the Leafs down.
Yeah, he's got Tavares. So now you've got the skilled players out for the Leafs, and now they're going to jump John Tavares at the buzzer. And Oliver Wahlstrom trying to pull somebody off of the pile. Mayfield against Tavares, which the other way would be Reeves against Barzal.
Yeah. But the Islanders...
I realize things get heated, but the Leafs couldn't survive 2 giveaways late in the game. Timothy Liljegren got lucky. Morgan Riley, unfortunately, had the puck turnover, couldn't get it up the left side. And Pierre Engvall. Does it not seem that anytime the Leafs play a former Leaf, he ends up in the score sheet?
Somewhere along the line, it does seem that way.
Well, even Ryan O'Reilly had 2 goals in Nashville.
Yes, exactly. Well, the Leafs had 13 shots in the third period. The Islanders had 8. 36-29, the final in that department. But the Maple Leafs are now 11-10-2 on home ice and 2-6-0 in their last 8.
Well,
it's bizarre.
And like I said, they're 1-5 in the playoffs last year at home. It's something that's difficult to figure out. But I'll tell you, with a regulation loss, now it comes into the conversation again. Will they make the playoffs? I mean, you win this game. the Leafs had have an 8-point lead on the Islanders with 2 games in hand. Now it's 4. And when you look at the head-to-head matchups, the Islanders 6 points, the Leafs have 2. I mean, that's huge. And if the Islanders and Patrick Waugh can get on a roll, all of a sudden you could find yourself spinning your wheels like the Florida Panthers did last year, trying to get into the postseason. So, not the way the Leafs want to kick off the post-All-Star break part of the season.
They lose it by a score of 3-2. Jimmy Patty and Frankie Corrado along to dissect it with the post-game show with an invitation to join us Wednesday night when the Maple Leafs will entertain the Dallas Stars. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This is really profound. Huge trade.
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of Sirius XM.
New owner for the Orioles. Now here's Corbin Burns. I mean, that is absolutely sensational.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This guy is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Expert analysis on MLB Network Radio.
This is massive. I see this rotation competing with some of the best rotations in baseball.
Live sports talk when you need it is on Sirius XM in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. Can you kind of talk about your relationship with your captain?
You know, whether I say it's a friendship or whatever we have, our bond is it's really come and really evolved over the years. He's one of the greatest, he's our greatest ambassador, but I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors for the sport. You know, the kid's a class act, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
You think, can you pay the guy? I think what we've learned the last 4 years is that you can. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas. They were all built on elite superstar talent. But what they also had was great management. And that's the one thing the Leafs haven't done. They've never done. Dubas never did it. I think we could all argue Treliving's not off to a great start trying to do it this year. Becomes a huge challenge.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
NHL All-Star Weekend returns to Toronto, and SiriusXM NHL Network Radio brings you all the action.
Pass and a quick shot. Scores! Matthews! Lost for Crosby for the HP. He's good!
Hear conversations with all-star players and coaches. All-Star Media Day, player draft, skills competition, and play-by-play of the 2024 All-Star Game. 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend live. Beginning February 1st on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, no coaching experience in Paul Coffey. What's that been like as far as a rather unique fit as an assistant?
If you look at all the things that have improved with our team, and maybe even the most is how well our defense has been playing. Paul's done a great job of communicating with them and getting a message on just playing assertively.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Game night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Welcome to the postgame show. Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Islanders win 3-2 over the Leafs on a late goal by Pierre Engvall to rub a little salt into the wound. Jim Taddy, Frankie Corrado, and Jimmy Ralph kind enough to hang around. And Ralphie, obviously it's the first game back after the All-Star break. You don't want to be too harsh, but I think that if you did a sort of a summary of the season, you'd say there's some great moments there, but the negative moments sort of lead you to wonder where this team ends up.
Well, and we talked about it right off the hop. The Leafs were tied with the last wild card spot. With the Detroit Red Wings up next, the New York Islanders. 6 points back coming in. You lose in regulation, and now that shrinks to 4. and forget the games in hand. You never seem to play them.
Yeah.
You always just seem to hang around and then disappear. Yeah. And, now you get back into the conversation. Forget about trying to move up in the standings or home ice or anything else. Now you're very close to being put into that spot where you're playing in the second half to fight for your playoff lives.
It's hard to like the way the things transpired at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like they're in a close game where, regardless of whether you like the first period or the second period of both periods, they're in an opportunity where they could win the game. They finally get a power play, and the power play looks good, not like the one they had in the second period where they were giving the puck away. They get a goal, and the response is a couple giveaways behind the net, some soft play in their own zone. It's like, how is that still the response at this point in the season after everything that they've been through, all the losses against the bad teams, the good games that they've won against really good teams in tough buildings, and then you're in a situation like this where it's like, that's a non-negotiable. Like, you need to find a way to either win the game in regulation or get it to overtime at that point because you've battled back, and that's the response. Like that, I just don't know how that can be the response at that point.
Well, in 3 games against the New York Islanders, all losses and all done different ways. Remember, they did score late. Morgan Riley and John Tavares got his 1,000th point. They lose in overtime. Then they have a 2-goal lead on Long Island. Blow that, lose in overtime. And here you think, boy, late goal, at least they get a point out of it. No, as you mentioned, it was first.
But that's exactly it, Ralphie. Like,
yeah,
at least you're going to get a point. And you could say, okay, no matter how it went, at least they got a point tonight. And that we've been saying that all year long with them.
But again, Frankie, and I think the frustration with this team is the Winnipeg Jets back-to-back. Oh, no. All right, here we go. Now you're going against the Oh, wow. Wasn't that great? New York Islanders, you can't win any of the 3 games you play against them.
Yeah.
But it's not to take a strip off the New York Islanders.
No. But it's a good point. And you know what? When you go back and look at the other games this year where they've squandered games and lost games, it's like you're going to run into teams where they have a Sorokin. And the guy's unbelievable, and he plays a great game. You're also going to have games where you don't have it offensively, right? Like, and that's tonight because, well, Tavares gets the power play goal, but, like, Matthews didn't get a goal. Nylander didn't get a goal. Like, okay, Marner gets one. That's at 4-on-4. But though you have to kind of budget for those kinds of games, and you lose those kinds of games, they're not supposed to hurt you that much because you're supposed to win those games early in the season against Columbus, against Chicago, against all those kinds of teams. So these ones don't end up hurting you, but tonight it does hurt you.
Yeah, you can take the odd one. But now, we said you're going to be the Florida Panthers from last year where, if you can't get on any kind of a roll, and when you look at the schedule, it's not easy. You're going to play teams that are in a lot better position than the New York Islanders coming down this stretch. But to me, what is totally baffling, and it's a carryover from the playoffs in last year, is a record on home ice.
Oh.
I mean, it's just. 11. I mean, the one thing that's great is you don't have to look at the second half and say, boy, we really need home ice in this series. Yeah. I mean, last year, I'm serious because even last year, the Leafs, even though they get past Tampa, they're 1-5 in the 6 games on home ice. So, a lot of those areas where you thought you should be okay if the home ice, record was better, if the goals against were better. There were so many areas you thought if you can clean up a couple at a time, you can get on a roll. And I guess the way it's gone for Ilya Samsonov, the Leafs score 5 against Columbus twice, lose both games. Now, only 1 against Winnipeg. 4 in Winnipeg, but an empty netter. 3 in Seattle. I'm not sure if there's an empty netter. I believe it was an empty netter in that one as well. Was it Jake McCabe?
You usually remember all these kinds of things.
Could be. McCabe and an empty netter. Anyway, but now all of a sudden it's 2 or 3 goals in offense, and I'm sure Samsonov's going, look, give me those 5. The 5 goals in support.
He's got to hold up his end of the bargain too.
Yeah,
though, right?
and we are at the point now. The 3 games he played going into the break, he was the number one reason they win all 3 of those games.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want to sit back, you say he owes them. He owes it to himself, obviously, to get his career back on track. but you're at the point now where you owe them to come up with a spectacular save at the right moment. He did for the first 3 games. Tonight, he wasn't able to do it.
Well, they're going to run out of margins, is really what you're saying. So on home ice, they're 11-10-2. And I just find it, like, I don't want to harp on a loss here, first game back, but I think we're, as you go along, it was like going into the All-Star break. Well, now they're in the wild card race, and after tonight, you're going, well, you got to stay in the wild card race or you're going to have a problem. And then you could say, well, you could do the Florida Panther thing last year, but that's a tough sell in a market that has limited, and I mean limited, playoff success.
The thing about the Florida Panthers last year is if you followed the team last year, they were hurt a lot. Like they were hurt the whole regular season. And Paul Maurice, he talked about it a bunch where he's like, analytically, we're actually a pretty good team. It's the first time I've had a team that's good analytically. We're not winning games for whatever reason. We're hurt and it's not going our way. They got healthy at the right time. They got their hot goaltender. Like they got a hot goaltender in Lyon to get them into the playoffs. Then they got the hot goaltender in Bobrovsky to take them to the Stanley Cup final. Do you see that? Like, I don't see that here. Like, this is not the makings of a team that's just going to squeak into the playoffs and go on a run. Not with those kinds of plays late in the game. Like, that's not playoff hockey. That's not winning hockey.
No, and the thing is the the post-game interviews are going now. You're hearing the same thing every game. We made some mistakes that cost us. We got to clean those up. We got to get the puck out of the zone quicker. We had some giveaways that hurt us. We got to be smarter tracking the guy coming out of the penalty box. There's got to be better communication. It just becomes a little bit redundant, where it's we got to keep cleaning up. And when you start cleaning up, you're saying unforced errors. We've got to stop the unforced errors, and
then you just stop them though. Like that's the thing. If they're unforced errors, you're the ones committing them. No one's like
should be the easiest.
You know what I mean? Like you're the one that can just do it. Like,
but we both talked right after the game during the commercial break. 2 giveaways in the last 2.5-3 minutes.
Yeah,
and the Liljegren one they were able to survive. Morgan Riley tried to chip it up the boards. It's kept in. They don't touch the puck again.
I think he was. You know what? Like I think Morgan was trying to make the right play at the time because the puck was coming around. He's like, hey, I'm just going to rim it. I think it was Brock Nelson. He kind of read that. He's like, I'm not going to go to him. I'm going to go to where I think he's going to put the puck. Sure enough, he picks it off. But it's the play afterwards where it's like he kind of did a shoulder check. He saw Engvall there, and then Engvall gets in behind him in front of the net, gets the body positioning. He gets and it's like that's where you just got to sting him with a little. Doesn't have to be hard, but it's a little cross check, and it's just like you got to go around me to the outside. So at least after I can control you. Right? It's just that mentality.
Or maybe at that point, Frankie, you take a penalty. And you say,
you know what, Ralphie? I don't even think I know what you're saying, but I don't even think you have to. I think it's literally that. It's just like you got to go in front of me, and so that way I can control you. But it's just that kind of mentality where it's like there's a few minutes left in the period. You got to be thinking defense. Like, you just got to be thinking a little extra aware where it's like, okay, there's 3 minutes left here. Let me just really hone in on this one guy. I don't want to lose this one battle. Sure enough, that's the one battle you couldn't lose, and you lost it, and that guy scored the goal.
Yeah, it's the old Ron Wilson line when he coached the Leafs. He said, we can't control whether we win or lose, only how well we play. And those little moments can turn it for you. And unfortunately, again, the power play takes a big part of it by not scoring when they have the opportunity. I mean, they score 4-on-4, and you think this is perfect.
Yeah.
Tie it 4-on-4, 5 seconds left in the 4-on-4, then you're going on the power play. You don't score. Now it's 2 on the other way again. And I think it was just an uphill climb after that. They were fortunate to get the redirection by Tavares to tie it, but I don't know. Even the winning goal with and not to be hypercritical on Samsonov, but a big rebound, and then opens up, trying to get over, and Engvall just slid it 5-hole in the middle of the net.
Yeah, and so when they tie it at 2, and that's a great deflection by Tavares. When they tied at 2, did you not feel that they were trying to win the game in regulation? They were looking for the next goal?
Yeah, and I agree with Frankie where it should have been the other way around.
Yeah.
You know what? Just, you don't have to press, and, maybe they felt because of the way the standings are right now that we've got to win this in regulation to make it more of a definitive statement for us against the New York Islanders. But I think at that point, I know they call it game management now.
What they call it back in your day.
My day, play the score.
Okay.
If you're up, if you're down, you play the score.
Yeah. No, that's game management.
And we used to say center ice instead of neutral zone. And
well, you guys had two-line pass.
Instead of half boards, it was over there.
Over there for me was the press box.
One thing that hasn't changed, though,
that was up there.
One thing that hasn't changed is, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, you know what, though? Whether you try and win the game in regulation or you let it go to overtime, your dinner reservation's still going to be there. It's just post-game. There's no time attached to it. It's whenever you get to the restaurant. Yeah. So you don't need to try and win it in regulation.
Yeah, but I mean, now, here you go. More pressure.
Yeah.
Coming up, where they always struggle with Ottawa. They got Dallas coming in a couple of nights. The Senators have never been easy for them. And
Sens are playing well too. Actually,
and now you're at a point where teams that are way out of it, like Ottawa, really have no pressure because it looks like the postseason is a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Now you sort of laugh at teams that come in that need to win, and you go out, you just play a simple game. And, try to make them.
Well, those guys are playing
nervous.
for something different, right? They're playing for, those guys are playing, hey, if you want to still be in the mix with that team or, you want to impress your man. Like, there's just, those guys are playing for something different. And regardless of what they're playing for, they're going to